in South Africa.
Last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation that me buy manya she.
We don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at her.
50 last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation that me buy manya she.
We don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should.
Also, political analyst cautions the ruling NDC over divisive remarks from some flag bearer aspirants.
He could have done that in a very better way, in a better way. One, he, I think, over-explained himself. He could have done that in a very better way, in a better way. One, he, I think, over-explained himself. He could have done that in a very better way.
And much later, businessman Dr. Papakwesi Ndum optimistic GN Bank could resume operations within weeks after court restores license.
We are looking forward to, in the next few weeks, having the GN Bank GN Savings license restored.
We'll bring you details of these and a lot more. Please stay with us. Professor Daniel Dramani Kipo, an international relations expert, says the government of Ghana must treat the evacuation of Ghanaians from South Africa as a matter of urgency. Some Ghanaians in South Africa have expressed a strong desire to return home following the latest wave of xenophobic attacks. The Ghana government postponed the evacuation exercise to a later date due to technical challenges relating to screening processes and aircraft carriers. Take a listen to some of them.
50 last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation that me buy manya she, and I wanted to go back. I need to go back home.
We don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at how I am. I have been working as a teacher in this country. Not that Ghanaians are illegal, but the Home Affairs forced most of them to be illegal.
Some of us outside Pretoria can't even travel by bus or their taxis for them to come
and I wanted to go back. I need.
Meanwhile, Professor Kipo, speaking on TV3's Weekend Central, said the Foreign Affairs Ministry must commence steps to repatriate the affected Ghanaians.
This should be treated as a situation of emergency. And at this very moment, I think lives are in danger in South Africa, because the manner in which the citizens of South Africa are molesting Africans, especially West African, Sub-Saharan Africans. The attack is more serious in West Africa than those in the Sahel, in the SADC regions.
Away from that, political scientist Dr. Asa Santi says the subtle jabs within the ruling NDC government could prove to be destructive against the chances of the NDC in the build-up to the 2028 elections. An April 13 polls indicates that National Chairman Asiedu Nketia continues to lead in a top-of-the-mind baseline survey of the party's potential flag-bearer race. Here's Dr. Asa Santi speaking on 3FM.
You cannot win any election if you don't have records. And the record is a function of the work you do whilst in office. All right? So you want to what? The party to regulate the conduct of those people. And remember that what is important is to be able to work, that you leave your footprints. Then people will see and say they want to renew your mandate or throw you out. So that can be addressed if the party is actually a mass party and it has the whip. Cut the whip without fear or favor. That is what is important.
Political scientist Dr. Asa Santi speaking there. Meanwhile, pollster Musa Dankwa says comments made from the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has implications for his political fortunes in the NDC flag-bearer race. Just before we go, founder and chairman of the governing board of the Indum School of Business and Technology, Dr. Papakwesi Ndum, says the defunct GN Bank will soon start operation in the coming weeks following a court ruling restoring its license. license. The Court of Appeal on Thursday unanimously restored the license of GN Savings and Loans Company Limited, overturning an earlier High Court ruling that had upheld the company's closure during the banking sector reforms. It is still not clear whether the Bank of Ghana will appeal the ruling, but Dr. Ndum said starting the restoration will signal renewed hope for its revival. Take a listen to him.
We even have some licenses in the UK that just in the past month have been restored to us. And we are looking forward to, in the next few weeks, having the GN Bank GN Savings license restored. With the court judgment that happened just this past Thursday.
Meanwhile, economist Joe Jackson says resurrecting the institutions will be a tougher one due to years of defunctness.
What has happened is that a license has been restored, but the bank has not been resurrected. And what you have is some form of legal opinion. If you are kind, you call it vindication. If you are unkind, you could give it all other names. But whatever it is, a license has been restored. That license alone does not create a financial institution. That license almost literally is a piece of paper. You still have to be in compliance.
You just heard there the voice of economist Joe Jackson speaking there. That'll be it for the morning news on 3FM 92.7. For more details, please log on to our website, 3news.com. My name is Christabel Success Trevor. Join the rest of the Sunrise team. Don't go away.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready for the revolution. What you say now? It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire. Rhythm, come forward. Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the business news on Sunrise. Coming up this morning, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman pushes stronger local capital markets as government rules out immediate return to international capital markets.
We recognize the need to deepen domestic capital markets and build markets that meet the needs of both users and investors.
Meanwhile, government reaffirms commitment to macroeconomic stability as IMF ECF program winds down. Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem assures of sustained fiscal discipline and economic recovery measures.
Supported by the IMF and anchored on difficult but necessary reforms, government has focused on restoring macroeconomic stability.
And much later, government's Treasury bill auction faces undersubscription amid a shortfall of 264.86 million cedis, missing third consecutive win. I am Christabel Success Trevor. We'll bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us here on 3FM. Now, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has reiterated the need for Ghana to deepen its domestic capital markets and strengthen local financing systems. This is against the backdrop of government's decision not to return to the international capital market anytime soon.
Speaking at the 2026 ACI World Congress in Accra, the Vice President said sustainable economic growth will depend on resilient financial institutions, stronger foreign exchange systems, and credible market reforms capable of attracting long-term investment. Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman noted that rising debt burdens and geopolitical tensions continue to reshape investment flows and financing conditions for emerging economies.
Ghana holds this Congress at a time when our own financial markets are evolving. We recognize the need to deepen domestic capital markets, strengthen the foreign exchange market, improve market transparency, support long-term investment, and build markets that meet the needs of both users and investors.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyako Ampem has reiterated government's commitment to macroeconomic stability after the successful completion of the IMF Extended Credit Facility Program.
Over the last 17 months, Ghana has undertaken one of the most significant macroeconomic adjustment and recovery programs in its recent history. Supported by the IMF and anchored on difficult but necessary reforms, government has focused on restoring macroeconomic stability, rebuilding investor confidence, strengthening public finances, and protecting the foundations of long-term growth.
That was Deputy Minister for Finance Thomas Nyako Ampem. Government's recent foray in the domestic debt market hit a roadblock as its latest Treasury bills auction fell short of its target, ending a brief streak of positive market runs. Looking to raise 4.486 billion cedis across the standard 91-day, 182-day and 364-day tenors, government encountered lukewarm investor appetite. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk reports.
Total public bids came in at 4.221 billion cedis, resulting in an undersubscription auction. Out of the submitted bids, the state ultimately accepted 3.934 billion cedis. Government fell short of its auction target by 264.86 million cedis. This setback spoils government's bid to secure a third consecutive oversubscription. The market had only recently broken out of a grueling 7-week undersubscription streak about 3 weeks ago, pointing to lingering tight liquidity conditions or shifting investor preferences in the domestic capital market. The 91-day bill proved to be the most popular, pulling in bids worth 2.526 billion cedis with government accepting 2.511 billion cedis at a yield of 4.91%. The 182-day bill received 877.72 million cedis in bids, with the state locking in 723.5 million cedis at an interest rate of 7.04%. The 364-day bill saw investor offers totaling 817.12 million cedis, while government accepted 699.62 million cedis at a yield of 10.37%. The rate of subscription was 94.1%, while the under-subscription rate was 5.9%.
Ghana's economy still runs largely on cash, but that dependence is increasingly being seen as a major barrier to growth. For many households and small businesses, access to credit remains out of reach, making it difficult to acquire assets, expand operations, or improve living standards. There's more in this report.
In many advanced economies, a strong credit score can help individuals secure a mortgage, buy a car, or access business financing. But in Ghana, millions of people, particularly in the informal sector, remain outside the formal credit system, not necessarily because they are financially irresponsible, but because there is limited data to access and track their credit worthiness. The impact is significant. Many families are unable to finance homes or essential assets. Small businesses struggle to access working capital, while young people are often forced to delay major investments until they can fully pay in cash.
The average Ghanaian has 31% of their share of wallets to go into other things that are beyond the basic amenities, so housing, feeding, and clothing, right? They have only 31% of the share of wallets as disposable income. So if you think about that structure, it only makes sense that if you want to give access to people to any kind of product or service, you make it affordable.
General Manager of M-Kopa, Chioma Agogo, says businesses must develop solutions tailored to the informal sector if they are to unlock growth opportunities within the market. She spoke on the sidelines of the release of her company's market impact report.
Well, now take a look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some of key commodities are also faring on the global market.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis, 56 pesos. It gained 4 pesos. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis, 54 pesos. It gained 10 pesos. The euro is selling at 13 cedis, 43 pesos. It also gained 6 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $104.68 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,541.13 per ounce, up by $58.52. Cocoa is trading at $3,889 per ton, down by $18.
And just before we go on this African Union Day edition of the Morning News, more than 6 decades after leaders like Kwame Nkrumah championed the dream of a united Africa, the African Union continues to position itself as the voice of the continent amid rising global uncertainty. Originally formed in 1963 as the Organization of African Unity, the body was rebranded in 2002 as the African Union, with a renewed focus on peace, integration, economic cooperation, and collective security among member states. Today, the AU operates in a far more complex environment, facing conflicts in Sudan and the Sahel, terrorism, coups, and economic instability across parts of the continent. Now, Ghana continues to play an active role in the African Union affairs through diplomacy, peacekeeping and regional mediation, while also pushing policies aimed at strengthening continental integration, including its visa-free policy for all Africans effective today, May 25, 2026. We wish all of you a happy African Union Day. That's it for the business news on Sunrise. For more business stories, please log on to our website, 3news.com. I am Christabel Success Trevor. Sunrise team continues. Don't go away.
Big thank yous to Christabel Success Treve for joining us with the 6 a.m. news as well as the business news for you here on the 3FM Sunrise. From now to 10 a.m., it promises to be an action-packed show for you here on 3FM 92.7. As always, we'll start off with our message of motivation for this morning. And for dear friends, families who are yet to leave, let me just chip in slight weather update. It's a bit cloudy in these parts of Accra. We'll get the full picture shortly after the message of motivation. And this is what it says. Your job throughout your life, your entire life, is to disappoint as many people as it takes to avoid disappointing yourself. Your job in your entire life is to disappoint as many people as it takes to avoid disappointing yourself. At first, that sounds harsh because many people are raised to please everybody, avoid conflict, constantly seek approval, and slowly something dangerous happens. People begin abandoning themselves just to keep others comfortable. Dreams get postponed, boundaries disappear, peace is sacrificed, and identity becomes performance. All because of the fear of disappointing people. But here's the truth, right? No human being can live honestly without occasionally being misunderstood. Choosing personal growth may disappoint people who benefited from smallness, from your smallness. Choosing rest may disappoint people addicted to constant access to you. Choosing purpose may disappoint people who expected conformity. That does not make someone selfish. It makes them honest. A tree cannot grow in every direction at once. At some point, growth requires choosing what to nourish and what to let go. And perhaps one of the saddest things in life is reaching old age and realizing an entire life spent performing for applause instead of living truthfully. This does not mean we become cruel. It certainly does not mean ignoring people carelessly. But it does mean understanding that peace built on pretending is not really peace. Sometimes maturity means accepting that disappointment is a part of authenticity. Because a life entirely controlled by other people's expectations eventually becomes a prison. Good morning to us, and I pray that this morning and today brings us the courage to live truthfully, even when truth does not please everybody. That's our message of motivation for this morning. It will set us up kindly into our weather update. And there's a thunderstorm with or without rain expected along the coast and over some inland areas this morning into the afternoon. Patches of mist and fog will also develop early this morning over the forest and mountainous regions. The current rainfall activities in the north will persist over the western portions this morning. A rainstorm sighted over the Gulf of Guinea is steadily moving towards the east coast and is expected to induce cloudiness with thunderstorms with rain of varying intensities over southern Ghana from mid-morning into the afternoon. The rainstorm is likely to be accompanied by moderate to strong winds, and eastern coastal part of the country sits right into the heart of the Greater Accra region as well as the Volta regions, and so it only presupposes that there will be some bit of rain for us this morning, and the state of the sea is expected to be rough, and so our dear fisher folks as well be forewarned. With our weather out of the way, I welcome you formally and officially again to the 3FM Sunrise here on 3FM. I am Mawuena Egbeta, Johnnie Hughes on standby. Great team, all lined up to serve you breakfast from now to 10 a.m. We'll start or get into it all properly. Kind Ketty, DJ Phil, with some great music here for you on the 3FM Sunrise.
3FM Sunrise. Hallelujah. Salvation.
the newspapers now for you here on the show. A number of them, a number of the papers here with us this morning. And we can get into all of them for you right now.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Let's get into it, shall we? The News Center big banner story this morning. Ghana card readable at 44,000 airport as travel document to facilitate return to Ghana, as according to the National Identification Authority boss Wisdom Yaira Kokudeku, is Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority. BOG losses will not recur at last year's scale. Dr. Isiama is saying this. BOG AFCFTA explores stable coins for cross-border payment. According to the governor, Dr. Isiama, government misses T-bills target by some 5.9% under subscription. IGP police hailed over Queen Mother murder arrest. And on the back page, Financial Stability Council intensifies reforms to strengthen Ghana's financial system. And SME clinics driving competitiveness resilience, is according to MTN. The Republic Press says Senate hotels still in trouble after Blackwell's anti-sale victory. Queen Mother murdered for 50,000 cedis as police unravel deep plots. Tension mounts in prison service over promotions amid complaints of lack of transparency. Ghanaian actress Beverly Afaglo passes on. The soul rests in general peace. 90,000 youth employed since NDC assumed office. Pareado. Temporary Eid livestock markets must secure permit or face closure. Mofa warns of Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Daily Democrat. B-STEM to boost science learning, as according to the president. Fake security group attacks Axel Load officials. Q8 mining ventures not into Galamsey. Ghana needs agile, forward-looking accountants. That's according to Dr. Clement Apak. The local content illusion, how contract mining is costing Ghana taxes and workers' rights. It's a new study. Modified taxation scheme, Ghana's surest way to inclusive tax administration. The Daily Post, next on my bill. Big story here says Savannah region to get University of Science and Technology as $30 million Chinese funding secured. Shoddy execution of road projects won't be tolerated. Gavin Zagboja is saying this. Tema Port has deployed 133 shift system under 24-hour policy, as according to the director of Port. Government targets petroleum upstream recovery after 5 years of consecutive decline. John Jenapo is saying this, and they have a front page comment which says, is hate speech free speech? It's a question they're asking, and they share their opinion on. Today newspaper, Cameron Dodo calls for renewed African unity ahead of AU Day. Today is Africa Union Day. It's no longer a holiday, by the way. It's not been for a while. GN Savings to launch first branch in Elmina following court victory. Ndum announces historic return at NSBT graduation. GN Savings license revocation, direct and indirect workers hit hard by closure. Group Indum president and expect more rains in June. GMET warns. The custodian, Esiedun Ketia, opens NDC's Pandora box. How General Mosquito sacked Haruna Muntaka as leaders in parliament. Stop the creeping culture of silence. Nana Komia to Mahama. Government fails stranded Ghanaians, minority queries. Government response to South Africa xenophobic attack. Let's get MPP back to power. Coco rallies minority. And police Yoko bail conditions challenged at Supreme Court. On the back page of the custodian, shops demolished at Kaswa New Market. Consumers lament rising ginger prices and digital finance needs trust to succeed. The Business and Financial Times, resilience, not capital inflows. New BOG priority. That's what the Bank of Ghana says they are focusing on. Enterprise Insurance pays over 280 million cedis in claims, reinforcing industry confidence. Power, private sector participation will deepen power sector woes. The VRA senior staff. Inflation adjusted private sector credit up 24.5%. In Zima Manley, Community Bank records remarkable growth in profit, and CBG targets 8,000 agents under new agency banking initiative. So those are the headline stories, but a lot of the conversations have stemmed from active politicking and open commentary, particularly in the quarters of the NDC, because their national chairman, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, has been a very busy man. He's been visiting, going around the country on a thank you tour. He made a few comments which has been the subject matter of quite the debate. And politics is a lifeblood of this country. Because we're back again talking politics, and who leads the NDC now? I'm going to take you in to listen to the national chair of the NDC and get you a bit more in terms of conversations, reactions to all of that here on the 3FM Sunrise. But here's Johnson Asiedu-Nketiah as the national chair of the NDC, in his own words, explaining as to why there was a need to reshuffle leadership in Parliament in the run-in to the 2024 general elections.
Who should be the minority? We got over that time. Then new things were emerging. And I said that we have to change the forward line of Parliament. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to win elections. President Mahama disagreed with me. But I said that, look, you have elected me as chairman of this party. I am the coach of the party going into the election. So let me make the changes that will win us the election. When we win, we all enjoy together.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Since I made that morning. I say, my brother Haruna, sit somewhere. The other guy, Muntaka, you also sit somewhere. Let people come, new people come, and you sit on the bench and watch. There was hell. And people started thinking that somebody who has been my friend for more than 20 years has certainly become my enemy. I said, how can Haruna become my enemy? He cannot become my enemy. But I am a coach, and I must watch how our President Mahama agreed, and they gave them big position. And we are working together. So if you are in Tamale here, and you are forming groups, Haruna group, Asiedu-Nketiah group, and so on, it is not our case. It is your case in Tamale here. It's not us. Because we are working together. And so, Chief, I just came to thank you and to assure our followers that NDC will continue to be one. There will be struggle for positions. There will be times people will be angry, others will be smiling. But at the end of the day, when we are struggling for things, we must make sure that the vehicle we are traveling in together will remain intact. Don't let us carry our differences in ways that will destroy the NDC vehicle that keeps us in power. So I want to thank you very much. I want to thank the good people of Tamale South and appreciate the work you have been doing, and we expect you to do in the coming elections.
That's the national chairman of the NDC, and rightly so. There's been a lot in terms of reactions to it all throughout the weekend up until now. Conversations in and around whether or not there could be rancor within the fine lines of the NDC. Let us know what you think in relation to this and a host of other matters that we'll be bringing to you here on the 3FM Sunrise. But I'll get into the papers as well for you and bring you a bit more in terms of stories as to what's been happening. And we know that there were Ghanaian nationals who were to be brought back into the jurisdiction from South Africa. The minority is taking notice of that and is asking questions in relation to that. I want to bring that to you, and it reads that the Minority Caucus on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament has strongly criticized the government over the postponement of the planned evacuation of Ghanaians from South Africa, describing the situation as deeply troubling and a sign of poor crisis management. In a statement signed by Samuel Abu-Jinapor, ranking member on the committee and a member of parliament for Damongo, the minority expressed concern about what it called the government's failure to match public assurances with concrete action. The statement followed the announcement by Ghana's foreign ministry indicating that the planned evacuation exercise had been postponed due to legal and logistical challenges. The announcement has sparked disappointment among many Ghanaians living in South Africa who had registered for assistance following fears arising from renewed xenophobic tension. So we know that yesterday there was screening exercise undertaken by the High Commission in South Africa, and a number of Ghanaians shared their thoughts, and so did as well the Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi. And first off, here's what a few of the Ghanaians had to tell the media who were present during that engagement.
Last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation edi me buy manya she, and I wanted to go back. I need to go back home.
Because we don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at how I am. I have been working as a teacher in this country. Not that Ghanaians are illegal, but the Home Affairs forced most of them to be illegal because some of them have permanent status, which has been revoked. I have them here. Some have business permit. They came with business permit. They renewed here 3 times. At the end, the other renewals, they said fraudulent. There are some Ghanaians. There was a Ghanaian lady that was knocked down by a car. I took it upon myself to claim that we have something rough, road accident fund. I pushed it to the end. I took a lawyer by myself. At the end of the payment, they said they have declined it.
Some of us outside Pretoria can't even travel by bus or their taxis, even for them to come and register their names because they are scared. Because the moment they started Kwarekwere style, then they have to divert the taxi somewhere. So how about them? What are the safety measures towards them, if necessary?
You say ko Ghana because intimidation no edoso. Police in Ukraine to me ba waduma monim so obi bia ye but obefa kwan bia so agiska through ho and so be intimidate ma that is whole day no ude ni na ye basa SSS na eba inti yesre papa say ono de owano okasa yiti se pa no mpesa ya ye won krata no kra ye nko yikrumu a omun kan kire tokwa bia nim ye ba yamfa yama yebetumi asen akoya chiboko se be ye na ye no omunya anototu bia eye me de nra me hu akola no a ukofa no free airport no me hu ye ne me kan ya ne say no akola no agu anim as because what the misinformation the airport ho omo afili form no wo me group no nyina omo frɛ me am se mo ntwen papa no se tam so a obek mam tam na mo nyina maba airport inti obi an kan kyerɛ na wo di mirika na wo airport but anopa me say hu say wakofa no a wo no kasa no me kan ya ne say hallelujah papa na yi efre ni nguase ni nyina mu inti me srew aduma papa na wo ya ne obetio ne wontie ya de mpaibo eta wachi ya ne sa amaye na nim say you get to Kenya.
So what we are seeing or witnessing is not something that is going to end today. Most of them have put these guys who are doing these demonstrations on a payroll, a strong one. So it's not something that's going to end today. I'm looking at a worst scenario as a business owner is in discussing with the ministry, the South African counterparts, if they can actually have a takeover plan of Ghanaian businesses, because at the DTI they've got the takeover regulatory panel where they will be able to give us offers so that they can take over those businesses to their local South Africans so that we can live peacefully. Because at times it's also so difficult having stayed for years running businesses and you just have to leave. And many of our staff are also leaving, and at the end of the day, how are we going to pay the rent?
I personally, I'm even ready to go back to Ghana, but because of certain situation, because my children are here,
there's no way I can also leave them behind.
Refugee, yeah, pay and pennies, and so na a force at the end of the day would be to charge. Yeah, mouse campo 2000, the engineer mouse at 3 months, betia na renew, and no cry mouth. Na permit no so ye mount. Enti ya no mo accuse ye say Ghana for ye papers ya papa midin sra mo say enye no kore. Eye wo mo ma ye nye nkrata. Na nka amfo obi hu so be boa sika no kakra no de aye de a ebe ma no ho ahe ha no ne watumi atena oman ni mu. But ye nya ne senti no da bia na ye mu bebre asem aye mobo.
It was a visit visa. I went to seek an asylum. I decided not to go because I was having an problem with my family. And I said, no, let me try and get to some country. I tried a lot of countries. In South Africa that they gave me a visa. And I came here. When I came here and the visa got expired, and I said, I have to go and seek asylum because if I go back, something will happen to me. And I went and gave them my stories, I narrate everything, and they gave me asylum paper. I'm not abusing South African immigration law. They helped me when I came here. I presented my case to them, like what I said, and they offered me the asylum paper.
I don't have confidence in the safety of my environment, because there have been 3 incidents where I have been attacked and I have to come to the High Commission to seek shelter, which I've already explained. The first one was on the 1st May in Joburg, where I had to run because I was going to eat our local food. The second time was closer to the Jabulani Mall. The third time was in Middledens. And I cannot sit and wait till it's more dangerous. It couldn't be any dangerous. In as much as I came here to do my sport business or what have you, I can't risk my life in exchange for that. I've been even up to a year, just 9 months, but I don't feel safe, so I have to go home. Per immigration, I am legal. So, yes, the documents that immigration allowed me at Oral Tambo. Yes, came here for sports. Yes, but I've not landed any job yet. Yeah, so I was still hunting, but I don't feel safe, so I have to go back home. Yeah, so it is what it is. There's no other way to say it. I'm not mincing words. If I don't feel safe, then I just have to go home.
You sound very angry at this point.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just surprised that fellow black people would treat us that way, especially when I'm legal. My anger stems from the fact that I have never overstayed in any of the 13 countries I've ever been to, and I have never overstayed in South Africa.
We've started the screening process for the first 300 Ghanaians who voluntarily want to be repatriated home. These people are here. We got an appointment with the Border Management Authority and also Home Affairs to be able to come here, set up workstations so that they can screen them. The screening is an important part. Before we are able to, put anybody on the plane, everything should be checked out to ensure that those are people that are legally or in terms of your Immigration Act leaving the country. I'm sure if you go inside now, you see that there are more than 30. I asked you to let your cameraman go inside and check the numbers. I'm told that we have close to about 120 people inside currently. These are people that are coming, and people coming from all the provinces. Gauteng alone, we registered close to about 400 people who are coming. So what we have done now is that we have staggered those who are going to go first. We want to do women, children, the vulnerable, the sick, the elderly. So most of these people are going to be part of the first group that leaves on Wednesday. Well, I think that the situation in this country has been fluid till now. I know we're not going to run away from the realities on the ground. People are not happy. People have lost economic value in everything that they do. I have people in, let's say, somewhere in Escort, where a mayor has decided that closing shop belonging to legal Ghanaians that are there and giving the keys to locals to take over. I think that we should be able to discuss these things. Once you are in a country and there are challenges like this, you feel unwelcome. And I think that is why government wants to come in and say, look, if you are not welcome here, come back home because you are a citizen of Ghana and we'll be able to reintegrate you into the society.
That's the High Commissioner to Ghana ending that long inset of a number of Ghanaians. And we'll hear from the High Commissioner again because he didn't he didn't want to, he didn't take kindly, rather, to insult as well by South Africans to Ghana's president and foreign minister, following all of the activities being undertaken to, amongst many things, repatriate Ghanaians into the jurisdiction. He spoke to DW Africa. Here's exactly what it is that he told them.
Face the site and tell us what's happening here. What are these people doing?
Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning.
As part of those who wants to be repatriated back home, we are starting the process of screening them and ensuring that they take all the dots that they have to take, so that on Wednesday they will be the part of the 300 people that will be going to Ghana.
And why? What reasons are they giving you to be here? Are they feeling threatened? They've been attacked?
Well, their lives have come to a standstill. They don't feel safe. They don't feel happy. The challenges as to these demonstrations, this rather unrest, xenophobic attacks on them, most of them feel that their time here is done, because they believe that they are here to work genuinely to help the country and also to help themselves. If that purpose is defeated, then they don't know the reason why they should continue to be in this country. So they are willing and ready to go back home, to go start life all over.
With the group of people that have been here, are there some that have been physically attacked, or is the threats and the marches that happen?
I think with the numbers that we have here, about 10-20 people that we've documented have been attacked. Physical abuse, physical attacks. And I believe that it's not right in the Committee of Nations, especially in the AU model, that we'll be doing these sort of things to one another as Africans.
We've seen Ghana taking South Africa even to the AU. Does it mean Ghana supports illegal immigration in South Africa? What's the stance of Ghana?
I think Ghana's problem is that the approach to which we resolve the issue. Globally, we know that illegal migration has always been a challenge, a big challenge. How we solve it proactively is what the difference is. We've engaged your South African authorities on several occasions. They've been very, very helpful. But we have move from that point to the point where the demonstrators don't listen to whatever government says again. That is where the challenge is, because at the end of the day, they are taking the laws into their own hands. I remember President Ramaphosa giving a statement condemning this act, only for the same demonstrators to say that they've given foreigners till June 30th, and that they would not listen to the president. What does that mean? That is disrespect for authority, and I think that is something that we all have to frown upon.
Just give us a rundown of what is happening here and how will it culminate into traveling and when?
So once we are done with the screening of them, we'll let them know the numbers that are going to Ghana. We are expecting to have about 200-300 people here today. Home Affairs will start setting up on Wednesday at 10 a.m. today for them to be able to leave on Wednesday at 6 a.m. to Ghana.
The other groups, since we had there about 800 of them that have shown interest in going?
So the first group has an aircraft that will take 300. After some few days, we'll take another 300, and then there'll be a third flight for 300, making sure that we get everybody back home.
Is it a set moment that Africans would feel unsafe in an African country?
That is where the Pan-African dream that we all believe we should have has fallen limbo in South Africa. I sometimes listen to the demonstrators and their leaders, and I feel ashamed as an African, because some of the rhetoric, some of the things they say. Look, we all believe in diplomacy. We all believe that the world has moved from one of being in isolation to a global community. If you do these things that they are doing and there are reprisals in other countries, how does it affect us as Africans? Africa has clamored for visa-free and borderless societies. We are not saying that let criminals or individuals without documents enter, but regulate it in a way that will help in discussing the issue and solving the issues of illegal migration. Ghana is not happy. We have foreigners in our countries as well. Are we chasing them on the streets? Are we going to their shops? Are we taking their keys from them? No. You hear people in this South Africa, people that should know better, using very unprintable words on, for example, our president in Ghana and our foreign affairs minister. Let me sign a word of caution that it is not that we are timid. It is not that we cannot have the same things they are saying now, our president. You can do whatever you want to do in South Africa, but we beg them, do not bring in our president into this. Do not use those words that you are using against our leaders in Ghana, because it will get to a point that when the Ghanaian want to use the same words, we will not be able to stop them. It doesn't mean that we should do this when we know that the diplomatically we are able to solve this issue. So the name calling, the insults, the other thing, well, I believe that after President Cyril Ramaphosa spoke, I heard people calling him names, unprintable things, but don't bring it on any Ghanaian leader, because we are taught civically to respect authority, and that is exactly why we are kept quiet, and that's exactly why we want to solve this thing diplomatically.
Thank you very much.
That's the South African High Commissioner Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, always mixing these things. Benjamin Kwashi, Ambassador Benjamin Kwashi, or High Commissioner Benjamin Kwashi speaking there. He said a lot, but I think what we left with is the fact that, look, as Ghanaians, we feel the right to repatriate our citizens from your country, but it doesn't also give you the right to want to come at our president and want to use unprintable words against him. And so South Africans must desist and let us deal with these situations diplomatically. And so
I appreciate your diplomacy, but Cyril Ramaphosa is not in charge of South Africa. Because if he were in charge, or if he actually is in charge, he would have reined the people in. MTN is doing well here, are they not? There are many South African enterprises that are doing very well here. If we decide also to match up to them and to do what they are doing, the nonsense they are doing in South Africa, will they survive? I've been to Pretoria, I've been to Johannesburg, I've been to Cape Town. If we decide to do it, they cannot match us. I just need boys from Nima, Konongo, Zongo, and Aswasi, and we'll put them together in Kolegon and Choko. They cannot do that. So why are they doing that to us? Why? What have we done? When South Africa wanted to gain independence, move away from apartheid, there's video evidence. Why are we not playing those videos, by the way? Jerry Rawlings and the rest, we gave them money to fight for their independence and for their freedom. Did they have money to fight for it? They came round. Nelson Mandela, a very noble man, came round the continent of Africa to find money. Why are we not giving the same benefit? Could they have achieved independence if we had not supported them? Could they have? That's the question to ask. I say Cyril Ramaphosa is not in charge of South Africa. I tagged him on Twitter. Up until yesterday, he has not answered. He and us, we are doing such a pocket. He's not in charge. I'm telling you, he is not in charge. Okujeto, President Mahama, Ambassador Kwashi, they are doing their best to save people. But I can tell you on good authority, Mawuena, there are many people who have like 4-story houses in South Africa, businesses, blah, 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 that are not willing to leave. Okay? They are not willing to leave. That's one leg of the conversation. The other leg of the conversation is that they are worried about the enabling environment in the country called
Ghana.
Yes. The enabling environment in the country called Ghana that they could really function in. And that's where the problem also is. So that's the second leg of the conversation. But I will insist that Cyril Ramaphosa is not in charge of South Africa.
In fact, after he spoke in South Africa and asked that the citizenry stop what it is that they are engaged in, they descended on him heavily, raining insults on him amongst many other things. In fact, Ambassador Benjamin Kwashi actually makes reference to it in that interview he granted to DW Africa. But it's really concerning. And having heard from a number of the Ghanaians who spoke when the minister was present, you realize that it appears the system in itself thrives on xenophobia to an extent.
Yeah.
That is going with what the people say, because they say that they do not go seeking to be aliens. They actually seek to regularize themselves, and they renew their papers from time to time. But after some time, the officials deliberately refuse to renew the papers for them.
I've been in South Africa. if they'll be honest with themselves. Mondays like today is the only day that they don't chill in South Africa. And now I'm laying it bare because you are attacking my kith and kin. And so I would lay it bare. Mondays are the only days in South Africa that they don't chill. Tuesday to whatever day, it is boiling day. Do they like to work? The Ghanaians there, what work are they doing? The Nigerians there, what work are they doing? The Senegalese there, what work are they doing? Zimbabweans, all the other African countries that came together. And I'm saying that, look, we contributed monies to make sure that South Africa is free. We all watched the Sarafina movie. Didn't you watch it? Did you not see it? Is Sarafina not a lesson to all of us? So what? Let me not use the unprintables on there.
Right, a bit more in terms of
what are they doing?
The Daily Graphic, big banner story says, NEDCO reels under 5 billion cedis funding deficit, VRA NEDCO staff claim. The story is by Michael Quay. President Mahama cut sword for Project Inspect Regional Hospitals Open ICT Center on his Savannah regional tour. Survey reveals high public trust in vaccines, and law on false news ignites debate, repeal or maintain. Supplement on African Union Day is also here. Today's graphic is very thick. Today is African Union Day, by the way. So the dreams of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his quest to have the entirety of the continent united is one of the many things that we will seek to ask questions on.
Bob Marley asked the question, Africa unite?
Yeah, you know.
Because we're moving right out of Babylon and we're staying right out of... DJ Phil, do you have that song?
Yeah. So it's one of the things. It used to be a holiday, now it's a commemorative one. One where we have conversations and talk about African Union and whether or not we're on the right path towards attaining that. I wonder where we are now as a people. As a continent, because we're only just talking about xenophobia in South Africa and how other African nationals are being targeted amongst many other things. What will the founding fathers of independence, right, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and
Patrice Lumumba,
the host of
all those
Thomas Sankara and all of those. What will they make of an Africa where one of its own
AU is toothless? You are free to say it. I will say it.
Is going against
me, I don't
each
care.
other.
I will say it. AU is toothless. Play.
3FM Sunrise.
Uniting in the best way possible. It's one that we must reflect on.
If we are united, why is Ghana having a lot of salt and not giving to Nigeria to refine its oil? And the Nigeria will go to Brazil, for example, to go and buy oil. If we're united, why is that not happening? How far is Nigeria from Ghana? It's like the trip from here to Tamale. I lie?
Yeah.
I don't lie. So why are we not uniting and working with ourselves? And that was a question I asked last week, that why is government not doing business with government? SIC should be insuring every state vehicle in this country. SIC should be doing that with ease and not be struggling. SIC should not be competing with any other, because there are companies in this country that belong to the government that the SIC could have benefited from. But what do I know? I'm just a small boy. The New Finder newspaper says EU investment hits over $16 billion, according to GIPC boss. Rising fuel costs threatens inflation. Outlook, Deloitte warns Ghana risks returning to IMF without fiscal discipline. Dr. Bedusa Kodia there. GN Savings to reopen first branch in Elmina. GN Savings had a lot of branches. We just decided to cripple them, and that was what we did. We call it banking sector cleanup, but we collapsed the banks and we made people jobless. Rate cut not transmitting to businesses. On the back pages, there's President Mahama, Ghana CEO Summit. President Mahama is wearing a military attire with a lot of medals right there.
Yeah, it's expected at that Ghana CEO Summit.
Yeah, President Mahama. Hey, but he has not gone to any peacekeeping activity to end all these medals. He's Commander-in-Chief, I forgot.
Yeah, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Daily Gist says Mali probes Adamu's sister company over tax evasion, offshore account, and royalty breaches. Afoko takes campaign to minority MPs. Gregory Afoko's big brother wants to be chairman of the NPP. And there are three individuals here, all of the NDC. NDC explode over Mahama succession battle. General Sedun Ketia, Haruna Idrisu Aduna, and Muntaka Mubarak. You know, over the weekend, Haruna Idrisu made a comment that, we're going on a thank you tour, but the thank you tour is not the other one we are embarking on. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ajoa Safo Foundation assist Usu Children's Home. It's another meat pie and ice cream situation there. Ajoa Safo opportunity. Queen Mother murdered for 50,000 Ghana cedis in contract killing. Queen Mother. Oh, Nana Sewa Jankuma. They have killed a woman because of 50,000 Ghana cedis. For real? Contract.
So it was a contract. The from what the police told us. In fact, the IGP was in the town, to be specific, where it was, after investigations, it was revealed that one of the chiefs had contracted the gentleman, a group of young men to go and kill the woman, and subsequently one of them confessed, because he says the ghost of the woman was haunting.
So here's the story. The Ghana Police Service has uncovered what investigators describe as a carefully orchestrated contract killing behind the murder of a Queen Mother, Nana Sewa Jankuma, following a major intelligence-led operations that has so far led to the arrest of 8 suspects, including a traditional ruler. According to the police, investigators, some of the arrested suspects have allegedly confessed to participating in the killing and disclosed details of 50,000 Ghana cedis, or perpetrated 50,000 Ghana cedis, I should say, assassination arrangement linked to long-standing land and chieftaincy disputes within the area. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
50,000 cedis. So a life has to be lost.
So yeah,
no, hold on. Play that Haruna video, please.
Oh,
yeah.
There's this one of him. Just a moment.
Yeah. I recall when President came for his thank you tour, not the other thank you tour, the proper thank you tour of President Mahama. Proper thank you tour of President Mahama as President Flag Bearer. What cannot be said, Mr. President, we can say it. A proper thank you of President Mahama, not the curtain raiser one. Not I get the reason why. When President Mahama came, I recall when President came on his thank you tour, not the other thank you tour, the proper thank you tour of President Mahama. Proper thank you to President Mahama as President Flag Bearer. What cannot be said, Mr. President, we can say it. A proper thank you of President Mahama, not the Ketty Razor one.
So yes,
the
battle is starting.
It has begun.
And it is starting in earnest.
Oh, Charlie, Beverly Afaglo is dead.
Yeah.
Prior. Oh, Charlie.
It was.
She actually lived with cancer all through the moment.
She shared that, and she was very brave as well. To be very honest, because she came out, she made that public and said yes, there was something within the family, and she was.
So it's hereditary.
Yes.
The Daily Guide newspaper this morning says South Africa xenophobic attacks, minority slums, delay in Ghanaians evacuation. Samuel Jinapo MP for Damongo pictured there. Malian government investigates Adamu's sister's company over tax violations. We are coming for you. IGP Yohonu to criminals. IGP, go for them. We appreciate all your work with the CID boss, the Queen of Kings, Yaku Donko. Very, very intelligent, smart woman, delivering on all arsenals. Let's get back to winning ways. Afoko rallies NPP members on their back page. Some people's this thing. But there was a song that had come to mind.
Right, the Ghanaian Times.
Okay,
what song?
Finish, then we'll do one prayer song in memory of Beverly.
Right, so the Ghanaian
May
Times.
she rest in peace, by the way.
Absolutely.
And condolences to the family.
Absolutely. The Ghanaian Times, Ofankon Sawam Road project faces fresh delay. Contractor seeks second extension. Commuters lament worsening conditions. There's a picture of a deplorable section of the road near the Amasaman flyover where a vehicle overturned last week.
Charlie, for saying I'm a salmon, I'll buy you lunch today. For not saying I'm a salmon, and for saying I'm a salmon, I'll buy you lunch today.
Yeah. I mean, as for me, I'm always, I say it, I'm willing and always ready to learn, particularly when you get to know about the right pronunciation and all of that. GN Bank saga, lawyer disputes liquidity fraud allegations. We killed Queen Mother for 50,000 cedis. Suspect tells police, and this must be our last IMF bailout. That's the president. On the back page, Hartspur Midiama Party, Nations FC 11 Wonders, Hohwa United relegated. Black Maidens trouns Liberia 6-0, and Ghana lose to Mexico in international friendlies. That friendlies, I don't even know who was watching it. I think I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a notification on my phone that we were down by 2-0.
The coach we are going to bring he didn't come to coach the team because
quite on the contrary, actually. I'm hearing he's splitting a few heads within the administration.
I'm saying that he didn't come to coach the thing. He knows that Otoado's thing could befall him, so his deputy went to coach the thing. And like his things called them to. Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah. The publisher is the last one I have. Afoko's magic 3R formula: reunite, rebuild, recapture power. Yao Owusu receives honorary award from Utumfo Appeals Court, not government, to restore GN Bank line since lawyer fires back, and actress Beverly Afaglo has passed on. May a soul, a gentle soul.
One prayer song for us.
Rest in peace.
One prayer song for us. Prayer song. One prayer song.
The late
Beverly Afaglo. May she rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Strong woman. Beautiful by all standards.
Yes.
But she's going to be.
She was a powerful actress. And
she was.
She lived with the condition and
she didn't broadcast it to everybody, and
wasn't looking for pity half the time.
No pity party.
And soldiered on through it all to the very end. And so, from all of us to the family, deepest condolences.
To rise, Mr.
Following this loss, that first one that DJ Phil brought was a special song by Prior Honeho to his special wife, and condolences from all of us here on the 3FM Sunrise to 3FM Sunrise, and we've just gone through a few of the details from a number of the papers as well, and we're just going to round up for you here on the 3FM Sunrise and then make our way for sports, right? We're going to make our way for sports. But I was in the village, Johnny, from this weekend. The paramount chief of the Mache traditional area.
Big man.
Yes.
By all standards.
The paramount chief of the Mache traditional area went home yesterday.
Okay.
And so sons and daughters of the land
congregated.
Yes.
In good spirit.
They came together in some fine spirit to send him home. It was a wonderful ceremony. Frederick, where's Frederick? I need to.
No, we need to herald what we're going to sing with a proper Evevi song.
Evevi song. So yes.
Drop it.
This one is by...
You have to explain the song to me.
It says, I will love you always.
I will love you always.
Oh, my savior.
Okay.
Yes.
My love.
Yeah. I will love you.
Royal stand up for the chief of Mache.
Yes, so the paramount chief of Mache traditional area, Togbi Gan Osei-Tutu the Sixth, was laid to rest, and that's the Agbogbo-Mafia of the Asogli traditional area. Togbi Afede, the 14th, who was also was graceful enough to have graced the occasion for us, the entire Mache traditional area. And there's a new leader as well for His Royal Majesty.
Right.
Togbigan Osei-Tutu the 7th was seated in state as well as we paid last respects to him.
Is that the chief of staff?
That's the Chief of Army Staff.
Chief of Army Staff.
Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu. Frederick, keep this one on for me because a host of individuals were present. Major General...
Mention them in good order.
Yes, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu is the Chief of Army Staff, is a proud son of the land, was present.
We call them COAS.
Right.
COAS.
Yes. Yeah. The regional minister, Volta regional minister James Gunu was present. Prosper Douglas Barney is currently the national security advisor to the president.
But he was a former chief of staff.
Yes, right? He was present. He was a president rep.
Prosper Barney.
He was present as well there, and I've mentioned the Agbogbo-Mafia and a host of actually military contingents accompanying Major General Lawrence Betanu were all present. Also, Major General Cornelius Litha was also there.
Major General.
Yes.
Litha.
He was present there.
It's not Litha. It's Litha.
he was present there as well.
He's a big man.
Yes. Great respect to all of them, and to all of the other traditional leaders who were present. It was a beautiful ceremony all throughout the week, and we crowned it all yesterday with the Thanksgiving service as well. I think the Volta Regional Chair of the NDC as well was present as well, and a host of other persons, all making it to Mache yesterday and all throughout the weekend. It was the entire township actually came to a standstill, and for proud persons of the land from far and wide. All were present and made the ceremony a wonderful one, and we say a big thank you to all of the individuals who were present as well. And so yes, that's where my journeyings took me this weekend.
You have been roaming, Mawuena. You have to relax more,
as we celebrated.
But it's good to celebrate tradition and culture.
Absolutely.
It's important. And Ghana's Most Beautiful is 20 years.
Yes.
We're celebrating it on the 6th of June. At the Labadi Beach Hotel with royalty, culture, tradition, and also tourism in the mix. The queens will be there. Very important chiefs and kings will be there. And we cannot wait to have it. The whole essence of the 20th anniversary is to also put together a project. The ladies always have a project that they do after they win or do not win or do not wear the crown. They still have a project that they run, and we support them to the best of our abilities. And this time we want to do some signature projects across the country that will impact a lot more lives, as we've done over the years for Ghana's Most Beautiful. And that's what we went to END to see Mayana, and then we went to see Osaberima Kwesi Atta II, Omahen of the Uguak Traditional
Fantastic
Council, and there with me is Brenda. We went to see him in his all his resplendent, and I went home. So I went to pay homage to my king, and we were talking right there. I think we should acknowledge the individuals who were part of the entourage that joined us there. So we want to say Mbo and Yedasi to Osaberima Dr. Kwesi Atta II, Nana Kojo Kra the first, Kwesi Gezi, Albert Johnson, Stephen Gazing, Jeff Nat Abekwe. And you're wondering what Abekwe is doing in the Central Region. But he's there right in the enclave of the chief, Lord Samuel Nanapra, and a fantastic Ochame Kojo Christian. We acknowledge all of them, and we're grateful that they opened their doors to us. But most importantly to Osaberima Dr. Kwesi Atta II. And I named my second son Kuku after Osaberima. So I'm Kuku Awenaze. Kuku from the Lion's Den. But he is Kuku Osaberima. And I think that we should play one good Western Diamond songs for them. Here you are.
And big thank yous as well to a number of individuals. When you say what? You've painted your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if I'm castle.
Ayo.
Say inyo. Penyibon do you understand it?
No, you have to decode that for me.
So this is a bad leader who is hiding behind a certain facade to do plenty things. But we painting him, but Osare has not painted his face.
Yeah.
He's a good man. We celebrate him. We're also live on Kesme 107.1 and Chief Kesme has sent me this. He says, for Africa to unite, that is what we need to be having us in Africa and not the South Africans, what the South Africans are doing to make Africa united. African countries, leaders, businesses, and citizens need to focus on cooperation, peace, and shared development. That's what Chief Kesme Ibrahim is sending to us now, and we are live on Kesme 107.1 FM in Tamale and beyond.
Right. A few messages as well in relation to some of the things we've been saying. Pauline and Charlie says it's very true. South Africa doesn't give a foreigner any documents. They refuse any kind of documentation. And she goes on to say, I don't believe in the dream of the AU because we don't want to unite.
I told you the AU is a
over content with our partition that we don't want to change. It's unfortunate. She says, Aaron,
Babako Kokomisa.
Yeah, he goes in a very different tangent in relation to the deployment of armored vehicles disguised by the Ministry of Interior. He says it represents a highly sophisticated preemptive tactical shift against highway robbery, offering immediate security enhancement for higher risk transit routes. To maximize the long-term efficacy of this deterrent strategy, the government must institutionalize this initiative into a sustained data-driven security policy rather than allowing it to become a transient short-term operation. Because the minister announced that, look, we are sending decoy buses as if they are doing long journey on the road. You cross it wanting to rob, and they will deal with you. There's been debate as to if it was appropriate to make such a disclosure. But the other side of the argument is that fighting or security as well is psychological. And so now the robbers will be on high alert that, hey.
But don't tell us what you're doing. That's 101 security. Don't disclose what your modus operandi is. Don't disclose it. Just do your thing and arrest them. Look, I can tell you on good authority that on most of the routes on these long journeys in this country, people are attacked, even when there are policemen or security people with sidearms, properly trained on these roads, they get attacked. We just, a month or so ago, there was a lone shooter who was unprovoked, was just doing his thing. I lie.
Yeah.
Now, so we know that they are there. The IGP says we are coming for you. We appreciate all his efforts with the CID boss trying to find us the people who are perpetrating all the nonsense that we can find. But by all means, don't disclose some of the details of these things to us, because that's not what we want. We are not looking at measuring efforts. We are looking at measuring results, and we want to see them. Yeah?
Yeah. Very, very important. You had wanted a few bites as well on the Indum situation.
What? So, the court has ruled.
Yeah.
Giving judgment. I have maintained that whatever we call the banking sector cleanup or collapse was not what it was. How much did we budget to clean the banks up? And how much did we end up spending to do that task? And could we have used those monies to sustain the banks? And could we have also looked into the faces of the people who lost their jobs to say that we were helping you and not trying to make your situation difficult? And could we have looked into the faces of the children of those people who lost their jobs because we said we were doing a certain cleanup? To be able to say that your father cannot pay your school fees or your hospital bills, or your father cannot take you to the water park or to the playground, or your father cannot sponsor a trip, or your father cannot give you your favorite meal because we're doing a certain cleanup. We ought to ask ourselves these honest questions. And I'm sure that the judges in the court are very well grounded in what they were doing. So they asked the question, what are people saying now? We are being told that the court did what? The court did what? I travel around the country. I just got back from Cape Coast. I went to Winneba. I went to Elmina. I even went to Takrady. I went to Enchi. Right? I've gone to Yendi in the last week. I've gone beyond. I've gone to Saboba. I've gone to Tamale. I travel around this country on my own. Right? You see GN Bank containers or whatever it is located everywhere. Then we decided that, out of the indigenous banks, let's shut all of them down. If you look at your bank structure now, how many indigenous banks do you have? Tell me.
That's dropped considerably.
Tell me. Your Ghana Club 100, how many local industries do you have as part? Tell me. The first 10 of your Ghana Club 100, including the South Africans that are trying to beat everybody and trying to chase everybody away because they don't like to work. They are enjoying better here. They are enjoying better here. So we ought to protect ourselves. We ought to, all this IMF conversation that we are having, whatever it is that we're having, we're just wasting our times. All the time is being wasted. Create the enabling environment, let the locals do the work, let the locals benefit from it, and that's the way we have to go. I finished.
Right then, let's get into a bit of sports for you here on the 3FM Sunrise. And after which, when you return, we get into our big conversations for you. We're talking AU Day and Pan-Africanism. The Public Accounts Committee finished its work. It's a big question we're asking, if it ever amounts to anything. If it ever amounts to anything. And
you're asking about Public Accounts Committee.
Yeah. If it ever amounts to anything.
You know, at the Public Accounts Committee, they asked a question that the Ministry of Finance was making payments on behalf of the Ministry of Roads.
Yeah, a number of agencies when they hadn't even cross-checked.
You know the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee? Abidal Sayasare.
Yeah.
She's an MP.
Yes, she is.
Dr. Amin Adam. He's an MP.
Yes, he is.
Dr. Stephen Amwa. He's an MP. Were they not the ones at the Ministry of Finance?
Yeah.
In this room, if our boss has to Kosia Anyable or Akofa Bansen or Lois Kisidu or Bossu Madam Auntie B or Bossu say, Mr. Nyama wants to ask a question about what happened on the show today, they would either ask me or you, DJ Phil, or Kunzo Tiani, or any of us in this room. No. So if Phil is sitting on my right hand side and they said, oh, Phil, today the songs you play, it didn't actually answer the questions of the listeners, or it didn't delight them, who should we be asking? Parliament, the answers they are looking for is in Parliament, and they have left it and they are roaming around town with our money. And then you have a certain de facto chairman, Mr. Tamils, screaming, I'm in charge, keep quiet. I said, you were looking for questions about who had made payments that had not been endorsed. Abinao Sayasare sitting on your right. Swear her in. Ask her questions. Why did you make the payment? She was Deputy Finance Minister. Dr. Amin Adam is in Parliament. He was Minister of State. He took over from Koforiata. Swear him in. Call him. Ask him questions.
Some of the payments were made in 2024.
Dr. Stephen Harper, he's in Parliament. The answers they are roaming around, wasting our money looking for, is in Parliament. Cut this video and post it. Let them see it. I said the answers they are roaming around with our money, sleeping in big hotels, per diem, whatever it is. It's in Parliament. Abenosi Asari was Deputy Finance Minister. She was the one who signed the letter that said that we will not give any post-retirement contract. But she was sitting next to the GRA boss, making excuses for the former GRA. You remember? Reverend Amisadai. Sitting right by her side, making those calls. Now, Roads Minister comes to Parliament and says that, oh, you made payments on our behalf when we were not there. And these are records that she supervised over. These were records that Dr. Amin Adam supervised. These were records that Dr. Sivnama supervised. Why are we wasting our time asking people who have just gotten into power when the people who spent the money and made the decisions are there? Are we not stupid?
Well, that's how we wrap up on the newspapers for you this morning, and then we get into a bit more of sports here on the 3FM Sunrise. Akosia is here. Will do sports for us in a tad, right? In a tad. Then we get into a bit more for you on the 3FM Sunrise if you stick and stay with us.
Well, good morning once again, and you're still listening to 3FM. It's now time for the sports update on Sunrise with me, Akosia AJ. Over the weekend, a lot of things happened. We understand that the Black Stars are already camping in Wales. There are few players there. Even though the list is not out, you know our players now. Small Snapchat videos, we get to see some people who are there, people leaking videos here and there. We've seen Jordan Ayew in camp, Fatawi Shahako in camp, Jerome Opoko as well, Marvin Sanaye. We've also seen him then. So we'll be hearing from some of the things that happened over the weekend. Well, starting from the local scene, where after 34 game weeks, the curtains have finally been drawn on the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League season. 3 Sports Mutala Yakubu, who has been on ground for the entirety of the season, brings us the wrap of the GPL season.
34 weeks of excitement in the Ghana Premier League all comes to an end. The 2025-2026 season has ended here at the Accra Sports Stadium, where the Heartful bowing out on the high with a 4-2 victory over champions Mediema. Mediema won the league last weekend when they beat Heart of Lions, and Gold Stars actually lost to Games FC. So the title was already wrapped up before this game, but for Heartful, it was important for them to solidify their position in the top 4, and they did just that by beating Mediema by 4-2. But elsewhere, shocker. Sweden All Blacks, who were in danger of being relegated, went all the way to Kumasi to beat Asante Kotoko by 2-1, with Samba Onel, Asante Kotoko captain, missing a penalty in the process. This means that despite the fact that Nations FC also won in Karela, Nations FC have been relegated and Sweden All Blacks have survived. There was history elsewhere with Atakumi, Gold Star striker, becoming the first ever Ghana Premier League player to score 6 goals in a single game. So the top 4, this is how it looked. Mediema on top of form and on top seed with 1. Then Gold Stars finished 2nd. Then we had Heartful finishing 3rd and Dreams FC finishing 4th. You are wondering where Asante Kotoko finished. They finished 8th on the league table. Season has ended, and we'll be looking forward to the 2026-2027 season.
Well, that was my colleague Mutala Yakubu wrapping up the GPL season. But after the game involving Accra Heartful and Mediema SC at the Accra Sports Stadium, Heart of Oak head coach Didi Dramani has heaped praises on his players and had supporters after their impressive 4-2 triumph over Medema SC in their final Ghana Premier League match of the 2025-2026 season. Didi Dramani expressed his appreciation for their commitment to the team's cause.
I think that keeping consistency and then keeping your right purpose in the approaches that you put in place is so key. Irrespective of how it's going, you need to be more front looking and then keep your purpose upright. I think that they have been very, very important to us. What we cherish to have is our human part of it. The human part is so important. I know that, outcomes, trophies will give you the chance to stay longer, but the human part is so key that we try to believe in what we are doing. We try to be very open-minded. We try to be very, very objective.
That was Accra Heartful coach Didi Dramani. Meanwhile, winning the Ghana Premier League presents Medema SC with another opportunity to represent Ghana on the continental stage. Head coach Ibrahim Tanko says the club's focus now has shifted to Africa, where they hope to make a lasting impression and compete strongly against the continent's best clubs.
No, a lot. I think after the season, we have to sit down and analyze the whole season and then look at the position that we think we need to help us in Africa and in the league as well. So definitely we are going to do the work.
You heard from Medema SC coach Ibrahim Tanko. Let's now do some national team story where Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okoreku has confirmed that the Black Stars final squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be announced on the 1st of June, bringing clarity to weeks of uncertainty surrounding Ghana's preparation for the tournament. Speaking after Ghana's 2-0 defeat to Mexico in an international friendly, Okoreku called on Ghanaians to remain supportive of all the national team as anticipation continues to build ahead of the Mundial. We still stay a little longer on national team football as the Black Maidens of Ghana recorded a resounding 6-0 win over Liberia in the first leg here in Accra. 3 Sports, that's myself. I was there and I filed this report. Maidens of Ghana here at the Accra Sports Stadium recorded a convincing 6-0 victory over Liberia in the first leg of the second round of the U17 2026 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Goal each from Saidatu Wahab, Linda Echan, Priscilla Mensah and Mavis Yeboah gave the Maidens 3 points, 6 goals as they head into the second leg against Liberia on the 30th of May in Monrovia. The Black Maidens played their first round of qualifiers against Togo. However, for Liberia, they got a walkover against Libya. So technically, this is the first game they have played in the U17 2026 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Coach Joe Nana Adakwa was full of praise for the team as they head into the next game.
Working with these girls for a long, I know what at any time they can do. So if things are not going well in the first half, I know second half, with the quality that I have in the bench, we can change things. So tactically, we are always ahead of any team that will be playing here. So they know what we know. So we are okay. I spoke a lot to them and I told them that we are playing home. Whatever it is, we'll go back to Liberia. So we have to kill the game here before we go there. That's what.
You heard Black Maidens coach Nana Adakwa and myself with the report there. Meanwhile, it was a different story at the men's U17 side as Ghana's hopes of securing a place at the U17 World Cup were shattered in heartbreaking fashion as the Black Starlets suffered a painful 8-7 penalty shootout defeat to Uganda in a thrilling encounter that ended 2-2 after regulation time. The painful defeat means the Black Starlets will miss out on the 2026 FIFA U17 World Cup despite an impressive and spirited campaign in Morocco. Head coach Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum and his players will now have to regroup and shift attention to the next qualification cycle. Still with news from the continent, South African giant Mamelodi Sundowns claimed their second CAF Champions League title after securing a 2-1 aggregate victory over Asfar of Rabat in the final. A 1-1 draw in Sunday's second leg in Rabat proved enough for Sundowns, who had taken a 1-0 advantage into the match following their first leg victory in Pretoria. In addition to continental glory, the South African club will receive a record $6 million in prize money and have also secured qualification for the 2029 FIFA Club World Cup. Moving on to the Arthur Legacy Invitational Tournament, Liberty Academy have been crowned champions of the competition after defeating Euro Africa on penalties in a thrilling final at the SMAC Center in Accra. The Flowing 3 Sports report has more.
Euro Africa took the lead early in the final before Liberty Academy fought back to turn the game around and lead 2-1. But a late Euro Africa penalty sent the contest into a shootout where Liberty Academy held their nerve to leave the trophy. After the final whistle, Liberty Academy coach Desmond Owusu-Nyantakyi and the team captain were elated.
I mean, it's a big tournament, and to come here and be the winners, I mean, we feel great about it. We will come and try again.
It's our first time, so we can't wait and aim to win the first time.
Italian ambassador to Ghana, Lawyer Ranelli, praised the atmosphere and organization after ascending the final.
I'm very happy to be here today. Every time there is a sport event, we see a celebration of the joy and of friendship. And today I think it was a very nice example of this. So
to some other stories where we head into Europe as Arsenal celebrated their coronation as Premier League champions with a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace earlier yesterday at the Selhurst Park, capping a remarkable season that saw it finish with 85 points. There could yet be more celebrations as Mikel Arteta's side still have the chance to win the Champions League for the first time in the coming days. But for now, it's all about the Premier League. And so let's hear from Mikel Arteta.
I think we showed an incredible connection, an incredible commitment, and an incredible courage as well. Because everything that was around us has fueled the desire that we have to go and do it. And look at that. Everyone is playing a part, obviously, and we have an incredible ownership. They've been through the tough times, and that's when you really see people and when you really get to know people. And they have incredible values. They know the sport better than any of us here. And they have committed themselves to a project that we have delivered. And along the way, a lot of people, the people that brought me here, for example, when Edu was here, when Tim was here, and all these people, they've been instrumental for everything that.
That was Mikel Arteta, who just helped Arsenal win their first trophy in 22 years. Pep Guardiola has also bid an emotional farewell to Manchester City after calling time on his 10-year spell with the club. The Spaniard has turned City into one of the world's football most dominant clubs since joining in 2016, with his honors including 6 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups and 1 Champions League. He could not end his tenure with one last victory as City were beaten 2-1 by Aston Villa on the final day of the Premier League, but gave a touching address to the Etihad crowd at full-time nonetheless, reflecting on the incredible emotions of the day after the club committed to naming a stand after him and building a statue in his honor.
I never could imagine the amount of love. I have been an incredible, tremendous honor to be your manager, to be here during 10 years. Like the video is so long, and the reason why, that the amount of trophies and incredible emotions. Please, I would love not just remember the trophies that we won, that's the reason why I could stay 10 years, otherwise nobody can sustain how many years here. Is hopefully we provide you through this unbelievable play. They are here, and the players that was in the screen provide some emotions that the people come here and at the stadium and feel maybe we are going to have fun. And that is the reason why we are here. They have to know they have a huge responsibility to maintain these standards. That's why hopefully they continue fight and give everything with this amazing club.
You heard Pep Guardiola there with his farewell speech at the Etihad. This has been the sports update on 3FM. My name is Akusia AJ. Thanks for listening.
focus on three things. That's your peace, your quality of people that you meet, and they also focus on your serenity. That's why I want you to escape with the legendary service that the world-class comfort provides for you, and not just the hotel. Yeah, your home away for tranquility and excellence right there in Pram Pram. 050-335-9598, 050-335-9598, or 030398-9737. You should connect with them. I want to also tell you about the first HRL Heights, because you can connect there. It's not just a room. You know, we're not just looking for a room. We're looking for a place that will, provide research. The guests, all those who have visited the place tell us that they find an immediate sense of peace the moment they walk in, a rare kind of assurance that lets their tensions just melt away. If you are looking for a sanctuary where the staff genuinely respects your peace and your tranquility and treats you like family, and they are looking at the first HRL hotel, and that's your first and only choice. Also located in town, just about 25 minutes drive from in and out of town to the central business district of the Greater Accra region, the citadel of the nation. I want you to take these numbers down, and also keep them on speed dial so you can mention them. 025 60 60 665. That's 025 60 60 665. 025 60 70 666. 025 60 70 66. Right there, and you'll be sorted. Now, for all the parents who are looking forward to having their children go to secondary school, as we all did here, the first attention is being paid to you, and the most paramount of all of them. For all boarding students, EduPac says that the Ghana Education Service approved and supported national SHS initiative that has been implemented for your sake by Prospectus Ghana is now in progress across the Republic of Ghana for you. Parents across the country are already registered, and you should register too, so that your children's trunk, their Macintosh mattress, I'm feeling for food right now. Macintosh mattress and pillow and plastic chop box will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. On the day that they have to catch up, do not delay, not be caught up in that unusual last-minute market rush where you're carrying heavy items under pressure, sweating and fretting, and we don't want you to have that. But with EduPac, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 essential items. You're covered, you're taken care of. I want to show you how to register. Very simple. That's star 713 star 821 hash. That's star 713 821 hash. Or visit any ADB branch of your choice, or go to www.edupac.gh.com. www.edupacgh.com. Make payments, keep your receipts, and present it on opening day to collect all your child's EduPac items. Your EduPac registration follows you to any SHS of your choice as soon as you're placed. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush, prepare with confidence, all at a very affordable price. EduPac approved and supported by the Ghana Education Services. For more information, please call 0500 600 607. That's 0500 600 607. EduPac, no stress, no wahala. That's it for that. Anytime
soon you be my bro.
And I guess that assisted in the studio already. Eric Mawuena, Egbeta,
My brother,
the great.
another mother. I will always fight.
We will deal with the big issues here on the big conversations here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. You just have to stay in tune and stay in touch and comment on our Facebook pages as we get there and get ready for the big conversation here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Lots of topical conversations that will happen, and Eric Mawuena Egbeta will take you through.
3FM Sunrise.
To the big conversations right now here on the 3FM Sunrise.
The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise. The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise.
15 to the top of the hour now. In studio with me, Benjamin Alpha Edu Esquire is a member of the NDC National Communications team and also speaks for the Attorney General and Minister for Justice's office. He's our guest in studio this morning. Alpha, good morning. I trust that all is well with you.
Yes. Good morning, Mawuena, and belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Also is Emmanuel Senyo Amekpelenu, is a communications team member of the opposition New Patriotic Party as well. Emmanuel, good morning to you. I trust that all is well.
Good morning, Mawuena.
Alpha is getting a bit lost.
I want us to celebrate.
You were deliberate. You were deliberate on that one. But we're talking three big things this morning: Public Accounts Committee and whether or not we're engaged in a theatrics of some sort over the course of time, particularly in our Fourth Republican dispensation, and the age-old problem of floods in the capital. Lastly, we talk African Union, and that's where I want to start. Just quickly, today is AU Day. The 25th of May. It's AU Day. It used to be a holiday. That's why a lot of people remembered it, but it's now commemorative. And the big question is whether or not, as a continent, we can unite. And I think we can even bring in the xenophobic attacks and what our Foreign Affairs Ministry has been doing. I'll start off with you, Alpha. Quick thoughts on the day and whether or not this legal lingua franca, which is becoming a part of no, it's the whether or not phrase I'm beginning to use a lot these days. It becomes a part of you at some point, but
because of the kind of things you cover.
Yes. So yes, whether we can ever get to the point where Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah envisaged for the African Union, just briefly as we get into other
thank
matters.
you, Mawuena. It's important that we table a topic like this for discussion. I think that in the last few years, we've doubled down a bit on the African Union celebration. It used to be a permanent holiday, but now it's just observance. We just mentioned it in passing on May 25. And that is symbolic of how far we have come in terms of our pursuit of Pan-Africanism. I actually believe that Pan-Africanism is not dead, but it is incomplete. And like we already know, our African independence has largely been political. And for about 60 years, we have chased, in utmost illusion, economic independence, economic integration of the continent. I think that is what the pursuit is about now. When we talk about African independence, for political independence, we have largely achieved it. I mean, there are no longer any colonies, right? But as it translates into sovereign, rulership or governance of our resources, of our economic potentials or not, that is the real question. Somewhere in 1884 in Berlin, some groups of white people sat down and said that we are partitioning Africa amongst ourselves. And so they just, took the African map, drew lines through it and say, you take this Gold Coast, you take this side of the continent, and then let's rule it, right? Now, these divisions did not take into account the various ethnicity and the dynamics and nuances of these ethnicities. They did not take into account trade routes that pre-colonial people of Africa were using. Okay, they did not take into account cultures and systems that were a bit harmonized amongst our people, all right? And so the effect is that even though these colonies eventually transitioned into countries, we have states or countries that have underlying cultural and economic issues because before colonization, there existed a certain system that was not given due regard after the partitioning of Africa. So for now, we say we have achieved political independence, but how are we synergizing on the issues of trade? Okay, we talk about the African Free Continental Trade Area. We are a few years into implementing it. What have we achieved with it now? Okay, mobility of goods and services, digital integration, all right? Why shouldn't it be so easy to send mobile money or a transfer to somebody in, say, Tanzania, right? It should be very easy because those are the lines on which we must pursue African integration now. So I think Pan-Africanism is not dead. I think it is just incomplete. We just had one political side, which is the struggle for liberation.
Absolutely.
We have touted it for 60 years. But have failed to do the proper economic integration, cultural integration, digital, in terms of trade, movement of goods and services and all of that. And it's important that on days like this, Africa take stock of its attempt to integrate, all right? And I hope that the African Union will be up and doing. In my personal opinion, I think that they've been a white elephant for a while now. We see these xenophobic attacks in South Africa. At least it has been on the front burner for the past 2 or 3 weeks. But I haven't heard any concrete steps that the AU has taken. Because this is a serious Pan-African issue. These issues go to the heart of Pan-Africanism and how people of Africa are relating in each other's country, right? But I don't see exactly what they are doing. I know that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana have asked the AU to table these xenophobic attacks as one of its main issues to consider at its next sitting. These are some of the moves that help address long-standing problems on the continent. And it is my hope that when the African Union get the opportunity, it will take these bold steps. The African Union was created as that body to push forward our march for, total political and economic integration. So it's important that on African Union Day, we take stock of how far the African Union itself has been useful to us as a continent in our push for economic integration amongst others. And that's why I think that the conversation should lie.
Right. Emmanuel, I also pay quick thoughts on you on a day like this and what we can do as a people to ensure that we come together and realize the hopes and ambitions by our forebears.
Well, thank you very much, Mawuena. Once again, good morning to you and good morning to Alpha. I think I'm meeting you for the first time, and this is my first time also being in your studios. Indeed, it's an African Day, but the question you ask is that whether our goals and aspirations are being met as Africans. For me, Alpha made one very salient point, which I think is in process now, which has to do with the fact that we should be able to send funds from here, and that would be able to be received in the other country in terms of their local currency. Years ago, it is very difficult for you to be able to send money to maybe a Ghanaian sending money to Nigeria. You will not be able to do that except through EcoBank. But today, with the support of PASS, Africans now are able to, receive local currencies within their respective countries. Now, for me, what I've noticed as far as Pan-Africanism is concerned is that it looks like it's become a cliche. Plenty talks, but no action. We talk, we give so many, proposals, this is what we need to do, and all of that. But at the end of the day, we fail to execute them. I was coming to the studio, I was listening to, I don't know if it was Johnnie also who said that you were scared to say that they are toothless dog. It was Johnnie,
yes,
right?
Yes, that was Johnnie.
And I
means words.
I side with him. AU and ECOWAS are becoming like white elephants.
We must not mince words.
And one critical thing I've seen is that it looks like most of the African countries are not concerned about the Pan-Africanism. See, Pan-Africanism is not dead. I would rather say they are in coma. They need some sort of push. They need to be beaten for them to wake up from their slumber. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because a classical example is what is happening in South Africa. How many times have we had AU leaders or how do you call it, government leaders within the AU continent speak about that? How many of the leaders have you heard speaking about that? Because it is not their country. None of them is speaking. I think for nothing at all, it is only Nigeria and Ghana that I'm hearing talking. Tinubu and our president is the only one talking. The likes of the other African countries, they are not talking because it doesn't concern them. Yet we are all preaching one continent. We are preaching one continent. We come in a fanfare style. We come and pack ourselves in one conference hall. We talk big grammar. We talk big policies. But at the end of the day, nothing is there to show for it. So for me, I think that, yes, the Pan-Africanism we want to see, one big continent with different borders, it's something that we need to push harder. If you recall this year, I think that the African Prosperity Network, they talk about, the borderless system, and then Mr. Ras Mubarak also talked about the fact that there is the need for us to have a common visa, which he traveled across over 30 countries, African countries. As African countries, why should I be worried when I'm passing Togo border? Why should I be worried when I'm passing Benin or Nigeria or Cameroon or Sierra Leone? These are things we need to, but our leaders are not talking. I have queried myself that how come between Ghana to even Nigeria, we are unable to have a railway line that will connect us, that in the next 1 hour or 45 minutes you can get to Nigeria. We are not thinking afar. We are only thinking about let's organize 1 or 2 conferences in our own interest. It's more or less like the countries involved under this whole Pan-Africanism thing, they are thinking about their individual goals than even the continental goal. So going forward, though we are celebrating our day today, I want to plead with the right authorities. Our president is a member of the AU and ECOWAS. They should champion the agenda of the African continent. More importantly, the youth, the agenda of the youth. Look at what our youth or our people are facing in South Africa. One common interest that runs through the African continent is the issue of jobs. One issue that is happening is the issue of these immigrants that are, today if it is not Nigerian that is sacking Ghanaians, they are beating the traders. It is Ghana that is sacking traders. Let's have a common platform and let's settle these things once and for all. And we believe strongly that as a continent, our goals will be achieved. Yeah.
Right. You mentioned the situation about migrants, and so maybe I want to chip it in because in the spirit of African Union, the government has been seeking to repatriate some. Initially, we were told 300. Now it's moved to 800 plus.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yesterday we were hearing from the High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, as the screening was ongoing. The Foreign Affairs Minister as well was in South Africa. But some of the minority minority MPs have been criticizing government when last week they couldn't repatriate a number of them, and so the foreign ministers had to go there. Your thoughts on the exercise being undertaken by government and the package as well that is to be provided to the individuals when they return to the jurisdiction?
Well, thank you very much. I have not heard in terms of the criticisms, but what I heard of has to do with the fact that the foreign minister needs to, be transparent with the public as to the full disclosure of the cost involved. I think that's what I've heard them talk about. I don't know if you've heard any other thing else. So I think it was Honorable Patrick Boaman who made that request on the floor of Parliament that there is the need for a full disclosure on the cost involved. And I think that this is nothing so new or so different from what we've witnessed over the years. It is only proper that as people, we get to know the full package that is involved when they come back. What is government's alternative plans for them? Because I know that in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the first gentleman who came had a private citizen giving him an offer of 200,000 and also saying that I'm setting up a cement factory for you. But what is government's own plan for these 300 or 800 people that are going to come? Again, we were informed that last week they were supposed to come, but as to what the technical challenges are, we were not told what the technical challenges are. So for me, I believe strongly that these things must be transparent to all of us to get first-hand information as to what is actually involved. Nothing should be in an opaque way where people will begin to wonder, because what the gentlemen or our brothers are going through in SA, sometimes I watch the videos and I ask myself, really? See, to be sincere with you, let me be frank and be blunt on this platform. One of the days I just told myself that and actually, me organize the boys no name QMT and can't almost a free room handle.
That would be
problematic. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with you. No, it was just a thought that came to mind because I just cannot bear the fact that somebody who is just working freely without doing anything and they are beating the person. I just cannot fathom what is going on. So for me, I will not say that because I'm on the other side. I'll commend the government for whatever they are doing. However, they need to be very clear. They need to be transparent with the country. Let's know, the cost involved. The cost mostly is what actually raises alarm. So we need to know the cost, the package when they come back. What is the next alternative for them? Is government putting in plans that, okay, when you come, we'll give you this and that? Some, I want to believe, some do not even have homes in Ghana. Would they be lodging in hotels? What would be the cost? If they come, let's get to know. Some are even coming with their kids, their school fees, and because the person is now going to start all over again. Because I want to believe that some of them are there. Let's be very frank to ourselves. Some, Charlie, it's difficult for them to even survive in SA. I have a lot of friends over there that I engage every now and then. I have been on X platform, and even TikTok, where at some point in time, I took on the SA guys out. And you see these guys, the manner in which they talk. So for me, I want to commend government, but the commendation alone is not enough. There is the need for them to be very transparent with the public. Let's know what is involved. Let's know the packages being given to the people or the packages they are preparing when the people come, how they are going to go about it. I believe that if the country is kept in the known, minority will also soften its stance on some of these demands.
Right, Benjamin.
Yeah. So Mawuena, I think that Senor put it rightly, largely. Except that transparency has never been an issue for this government and the Minister for Foreign Affairs. You recall that when this incident happened, he issued statements and took a number of diplomatic steps to try and resolve it, right? One of them was to summon the South African High Commissioner. Another was to engage directly with his counterpart, Minister of Foreign Affairs of South Africa on the issue. And I think the latest in the steps he has taken is to repatriate those who are willing to return. But I think that it's important that we consider the issue in a certain perspective. You see, there are a lot of Ghanaians living in South Africa, but the issue has to do with those who are normally working in the informal sector and doing menial jobs, who do not have the right legal protection to stay there. People who are lecturers, who are engineers and all of that do not suffer this. So first of all, if you are bringing these people back, you must first of all decide on a very comprehensive plan. Mind you, this is not an issue that government anticipated, all right? It's an issue that happened. And every government, every responsible government must come through for its people, okay, whenever it is necessary, all right? And so even though it is not an issue that was anticipated, government have quickly taken steps. One of the key ones being to repatriate all of the citizens who are willing to come back. Now, when this announcement was made, there was a certain targeted number of people. Remember, this is not a compulsory evacuation of all Ghanaians. It's those who are willing to come. Okay, so government had an estimate. Now, when people were asked, those who wanted to come were asked to go and register, quickly within a period of 2 days, we realized that the estimated numbers have shot up to about 800. And this means that all of the protocols that have to be involved in repatriating or bringing them back would have to be revised in line with these numbers. Okay, that is why on 21st May, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, the Minister for Foreign Affairs issued a press release and says, we will defer the repatriation for a few days, okay, because of the numbers that have registered, because one, there are legal conditions that have to be met internally in South Africa when you are evacuating. Two, there are pre-boarding screenings that have to be done. Three, they would also have to consider how to reintegrate people back into the society and all of that. So it has been deferred a few days to cater for these things that have come up, all right, because of the numbers. Now, yesterday, I listened to the Minister for Foreign Affairs speaking to Ghanaians in South Africa, and he mentioned some plans that government have in terms of reintegrating them into society. And like Senor said, that first man that came, who was the direct attack of these xenophobic groups, yes, Mr. Asamoah,
we got all of
he was lucky enough to have been received by Ibrahim Mahama. He indicated that he wanted a hardware business. Ibrahim Mahama has generously offered to set him up. The Minister of Foreign Affairs indicated that the government is considering, speaking to other philanthropic groups, other corporate entities to absorb, right? And that there are slots for 150. You are going to take those slots so that when those people come back, based on your employability, your skills that you have, you are fixed. Because that is very important. When you bring them back without livelihoods, you had better left them there. So it's quite a comprehensive issue that must be dealt with. Not just a swift evacuation, that is important, but the reintegration bit is also equally important. And I think that on this xenophobic attacks bit, this morning, Manasseh Azuri has posted the Foreign Affairs Minister and has written a number of things
extensively, I think,
yes, about what he is doing. This Minister for Foreign Affairs has been up and doing in respect of these xenophobic attacks. He is taking quick steps. He is taking bold measures, all right, both in terms of dealing on the issues on the ground and dealing on the issues on the diplomatic level. And one of the very important things he's done, that is that beyond the bilateral level, that is Ghana, South Africa, we need to tackle this on a multilateral level, on a continental level. And that's why he's moving a motion that this issue be tabled at the African Union, so that African Union heads will take a decisive decision once and for all and ensure that they hold South Africa to it to implement. I have always maintained that these xenophobic attacks in South Africa goes to how we protect our Ghanaian nationals abroad, okay, and how we assert their economic dignity, all right? Is an important test for a country. You see, countries are measured by what they do on a continental and global level, the kind of respect that the country has. The reason people respect Ghana, one of the reasons people respect Ghana is because Kwame Nkrumah did not limit himself to developing Ghana and to emancipating Ghana alone. He connected that to an Africa-wide emancipation agenda. And that is why people of Africa and globally respect Ghana. So when these issues come, Ghana as a country needs to be a leader in taking it up and making sure that on a continent level, we are able to get solutions. And that's exactly what the Minister for Foreign Affairs is doing. And I believe that some of these steps that he's taking is in the right direction, and he's definitely going to achieve results. As for the repatriation, it will be done. is something that they have planned for, and then subject to the few conditions that have to be met, these people will be repatriated and they can be reintegrated to Ghanaian society.
Right. 9:08. I'm just going to go for this quick break. When we return, we get into Public Accounts Committee conversations and as well floods, because the president set up an anti-flooding committee, and what's been the effort put in to prevent flooding. We've seen quite a lot in terms of that since the rains began, and we understand there's a bit more in terms of rain expected in the country this year. All of that and more after this quick break. Stay with us. Past 9, we're talking a number of issues, but top on the agenda right now is a Public Accounts Committee and the work that they've been undertaking. They were in Adan for the last week. A number of ministries and agencies were present. The Attorney General himself was present, but it's brought us to asking this question: where do we go from all of the work that's done by Parliament? The expectation is that the AG's office will pick up on some of the matters and deal with them. I don't recall ever hearing the Attorney General has picked up on the subject matter from the Public Accounts Committee and is dealing with it. Are we going to see something of that nature this time round from the current AG?
Yeah, the Attorney General is committed to, as far as there is evidence that support prosecution, prosecute all corruption, financial malfeasance issues in the public sector, amongst other prosecutions that he's mandated to prosecute. So as far as there is evidence, as far as it meets the prosecutorial threshold for which the Attorney General must pursue, the Attorney prosecutes, it's important that natural justice rules are adhered to. So he made that point that these auditors must help prosecutions by making sure that their final report inculcates responses that have been given by these MMDAs, so that there is a clearer picture for prosecutions by the Attorney General. So that's on that bit. On a broader bit of the work of the Public Accounts Committee, right? For me, apart from Parliament's mandate of making laws, I think the Public Accounts Committee constitutes the single most important other function of Parliament. Like we know, as a basic rule of governance, Parliament is supposed to check the executive, all right? And by that, Parliament does that mainly through its committees, Okay, it hardly happens on the plenary that some of these matters are tabled, because then that would be too much. Okay, so it is these committees that are given the responsibility to deal with various sectors, and the Public Accounts Committee's responsibility is to look at the Auditor General's report, summon people to come and answer questions in respect of these infractions, and that's what we've been doing over the years. And so the Public Accounts Committee has enormous powers. In fact, when a committee of parliament is sitting, right, and Article 103, it has the powers and privileges and immunities of a high court for the purposes of summoning people, administering oaths, enforcing compliance with production of documents and all of that. The parliament committees, not only the Public Accounts Committee, but committees of parliament, when they are sitting, have those enormous powers. I think that the Public Accounts Committee, while it has helped to put the spotlight on financial malfeasance and infractions or irregularities with disbursement of funds in the public sector, it has helped to put the spotlight on it. It has not done much in the Fourth Republic in terms of helping us recover. And there are a number of things that they are still supposed to do. So every year they sit, people are named for this. It is referred to the Attorney General. And the public are not updated on what's happened. If I ask you,
which is a subject matter.
Yes, if I ask you, Mawuena, that the 2024 Public Accounts Committee, all of the referrals they made, what is the update now in terms of the recoveries? What will you?
There's zero knowledge.
And you are somebody that covers the space actively. So if you don't know, ordinary citizens would also not know, and that leads to a decrease in confidence in our parliament and how it functions. So I think that beyond the naming and shaming, Public Accounts Committee must move towards systemic fixes. All right. So this is what they can do. You see, every person who is named in the Public Accounts Committee report and summoned is a product of a certain system. It's a certain system that allowed that infraction. All right. Normally payroll issues. Okay. Normally disbursement that were made without approvals. All of these are systemic issues. So Parliament or the Public Accounts Committee, as part of recommendation, can demand a biannual, can issue biannual reports where they demand systemic fixes and actually tie it into budgetary approval. So, for example, the Ministry of Education has been cited for a number of infractions. Okay, if we are dealing with the system, what happens is that before the next budget approval, the Ministry of Education must show compliance with all of the irregularities that were raised as a basis for the approval of the budget, even at the committee stage. I don't know if you understand the picture I'm trying to paint. So we tie compliance with approval of budget and all of that.
But is it also not an issue of all of this doesn't go anywhere? It's why things remain the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that I am making a recommendation because we've not seen this thing being done. So I am actually making a recommendation that let's move from the naming and shaming to systemic fixes. What is being considered is a report for what is now is a report of, I think, 2024 Auditor General's report, and then there are, I think, special report too on certain sectors. And people are named in there. Most of these people, or a number of these people, are civil servants, people that are still within the sector. So every year we continue to name people without fixing the system. And I think that it is the system that must be fixed. Secondly, I also think that there must be post-hearing issues that, regarded their sector. They must be called out for it. You understand? Because what we see is that every year the names get mentioned and we sweep it under the carpet and then nothing happens. Public Accounts Committee must begin to flex its muscles and must begin to move beyond the sittings and must take concrete steps to make sure that we get more value for the work that they are doing.
Will prosecutions be one of the deterrents? Because, yes, politicians get a lot of grief, and After every election cycle, when power changes hands, politicians want to go after politicians.
Absolutely.
The civil servants, like I was hearing, someone attributing a jump in loss from, is it 800 million or is it 900 million to in excess of a billion? No, it's 900,000 to in excess of 1 point something million, and saying it was down to inflation.
Yeah.
The chair screams, and that's it.
Yeah, so yes, prosecutions are important. Prosecutions will serve not only as deterrent, but also justice for the Republic in respect of these amounts that have been lost. But it comes back to the question that I was raising from the beginning of the discussion. How these reports, its probative or evidential value, because we hear the names, but what is the investigation behind it? Beyond the people that are named, how do we go beyond it, investigate and establish their culpability? And what happens is that because the public hear these amounts, they are expecting to hear what happened. So yes, prosecutions are an important part of it. And like I've already mentioned, the Attorney General is committed, to prosecuting all public sector malfeasance or crimes, whether it happened in the past government or ongoing, if it would happen in this government. He is committed to prosecuting that. And in respect of that, there are several people standing trial.
From the audit report of the Public Accounts Committee?
The Auditor General's report, the National Service case, one of the key reasons why it is in court is because the Auditor General did a special report on it and issued a special report on it. So when the Auditor General's report gives room for the Attorney General to exercise its prosecutorial authority, it will. And a number of these cases, when they are referred to the Attorney General, the referral is not enough for prosecution. The referral is for further investigation and to establish grounds for prosecution.
I think where there is genuine concern is the fact that in all of our dispensation, take out the special audits, because the National Service prosecution, which is currently ongoing, was a special audit after the Fourth Estate undertook an investigative report. Then there are special audits which are carried out from time to time, which draws attention. But outside of the special audits,
in respect of the general
ones,
that has to do with civil servants
we
and all of
we
that.
are yet to see anybody ever
Mawuena,
answer for some of those.
Yes, Mawuena, this Attorney General is committed to that. But I don't even think that it's exactly true that we have not held civil servants to account.
I say here because I can't sit here and say.
I don't think. I think there are a number of prosecutions that have to do with civil servants, not only political appointees. The point is that because these people are not high political figures, we do not hear about it. But I do not want to believe that since the Public Accounts Committee became a feature of our parliamentary system, no civil servant have been prosecuted. I do not want to believe that. However, like I have mentioned, the Attorney General is committed to this. This is actually referrals that have been made to the Attorney General for further prosecutions or further investigation and prosecution. And all of them, the Attorney General welcomes them in good faith. He's going to take up these matters and prosecute or investigate and prosecute where it is appropriate to prosecute. So that commitment is there, and we are going to see those prosecutions in respect of public sector people that commit financial malfeasance when they are done. This Attorney General is very committed to that, and I can say that with all confidence.
Right. Emmanuel, let me come to you on public account work, and the argument is that both sides, you continue to pass the baton around in terms of leadership. You come and then you shake each other small, and then everybody goes home and the loot continues and everybody enjoys. That's what it's become between NPP and NDC.
So we pass the baton. Is he 100 meters relay we are playing? Anyway, in fact, when I saw the topic, it baffles me a bit. I think that the issue of the Public Accounts Committee, when you ask me in one term, I'll tell you that it becomes a revolving thing. It goes round the clock and comes back to the same place. Because just as you said, Mawuena, if it is not the other party, it is anti-clockwise. If it is not clockwise, it's anti-clockwise. So you realize that you are just going around the same thing. Now, when you look at it, one question I ask myself is that whether officials are ever punished when some of these things happen. Rarely do you see some of these things, some of these officials getting punished. And these are the procedures. One of the procedures is that the PAC's powers ends at mostly at referrals.
Yeah.
Now, let me just give you the cyclical nature of it. You find an irregularity, and then the next thing you do is that you refer the person to AG.
Yeah.
Now, when you refer the case to AG, it's either they continue or the case gets stalled. Now, from that aspect, the next year, the same group of people or MDAs, you see them coming back again. So it is the same thing that keeps repeating itself. But as a country, what are we doing to find a way to regulate that aspect? Because if you and I are friends and you happen to be in front of, because sometimes I watch some of the proceedings and for example, Honorable Stan, what's the name? George Stan, what's the name? Jata. Sam George. He finished his proceedings. He was like, Honorable Abner, it's my very good friend. And I'm like, she's your very good friend. So what it means is that if I have that rapport with you, I should be able to find a way to, do things so that I will not put out your name in the mud like that. So for me, I'm of a firm belief that the fight or the work of PAC has become a revolving or a recurring situation where the same issues the issues are not different. If it is not issues of procurement, it is issue of receipts, it is issue of numbers overstated or understated. Look at what they did to the procurement officer from Defense Ministry, who is now with, I think, Lands Ministry or so. The man whose name came up in the audit report, and later on, auditors have to say that no, the figure.
But even for him, before that fourth estate, the challenge with the audit report, he was at the Defense Ministry where some vehicles were to be procured, and the vehicles are nowhere to be found.
Where is that?
He's currently at the Land Center.
What you are talking about?
It was in the Auditor General's report.
It was in the Auditor General's
report.
Okay, but what was put out for which the public criticized him
was a mistake in
different
terms in figures. Yes, he had earned. There was a problem of unearned salaries. It was just a case of the amount, which was very well stated above and beyond.
Yeah. Then they said disposition.
Yes, then they said typographical error. Transpositional error. That was what.
Well, maybe if it is 534, they rather make it 4.
But that was not even transpositional error.
No, because so what it was that, you see, when you are arranging the columns, you can state senior's name. There may be Ministry of this. So they mistook the figure by his name with
to
that
somebody
of the
else.
Ministry of Education. That amount were supposed to be on earned salaries for the Ministry of Education.
And it was
attributed. And mistakenly it was
but that's a very serious case, because the man actually had a lot of backlashes. And for me, I got a bit worried. But he's not a bone of contention here. Let's not even focus much on him. The focus here has to do with the work of PAC. PAC, for me, I think that when you ask me, the theatrics are becoming too much. Like, you go and this banter we keep seeing it's not starting today. The banter has been there over the years. By the end of the banter, the media headlines, the name callings, the name and shame and all of that, what is the next step? For example, in my village or in my region where Afiadaniba Senior High School, the gateman who is supposed to be paid beyond the base pay is being paid less than 400 Ghana cedis, and it's being paid around 200 and something cedis. The man, they've tasked the school to make sure that man is paid. Would there be checks to ensure that is brought to a conclusion, that work is done
or it is just for the headline, it is just for the camera. We do those videos, it circulates around to show that we care for the people. Beyond that, the man who has caused some, malfeasance within a particular ministry, after the referrals, is that the end? Are we going to see the situation whereby one case, it will take like 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, and still there is no judgment? Not to even talk about refunding the money to the government chest. So it's an issue that if you want to, when I was coming, I listened to Johnnie when Johnnie was saying that, you see, these people, they are all friends. Easy, I know this person, you know that person. My brother, let's be very frank to ourselves. It's something that sometimes when you're talking about it, you want to be a bit careful because you don't want to be cited for contempt. But this is public funds. This is public funds. So for me, the work of PAC, yes, they are doing well, but I think that much needs to be done. The referrals alone are not enough. The public attention alone is not enough. The media headlines are not enough. The naming and shaming is not enough. Action must be taken. And I am happy to hear that the AG is saying that from AFA, he is saying that this AG is going to be different. I want to see what will be so different, because if there will be anything that will be different, yes, it's Agrobeswa. If there will be anything that will be so different, the case of Aura should be a classic example to us. But when you say it, you'll be told that, oh, the people are in court. I know you come back with a very strong rebuttal.
You know that.
They will tell you that.
Unless you are saying that the AG should just bundle them.
I'm coming. They will tell you that the people are in court.
Yes.
Agreed. That you need to go through the procedures.
Yes.
You need to go through the process.
Right.
But one key thing I have stood against as far as the procedures are concerned is the fact that AG is not a TV host. AG is not MC. The AG does his work in the courtroom. He does his work in the office. But when you talk, he will tell you that because of the issue of accountability and transparency, whereas in the case of Aura, somebody is mentioning $21 billion, AG will come and tell you that he never said that. So there are conflicting issues altogether. So for me, the issue of PAC is good. They need to go through the process. They need to be referred. However, there must be timely delivery of the very issues that they've been referred to, so that it does not stay for long, where one case will have to last for, give or take, 6 years, 4 years, like in the case of Opuni in the previous government. We can mention 2001, even in 10 years, 20 years ago, we know many of them. But what is the end of those cases? So for me, I believe strongly that going forward, PAC should not only be about media headlines. It should not only be at the screaming, Mr. Man, you need to be that. No, Madam Chairperson, no, I need to make... It should not be about the cliche, the theatrics of it. It should be about, if funds needs to be, retrieved, let's retrieve the funds. If the person needs to be, prosecuted, let's prosecute it. Let the laws deal with the person. If the laws deal with the person, I believe that to create some sort of fear in people. Because I have noticed that people have seen that because the laws are not dealing with them, oh, I'll go for bail. I'll go and be coming. It's not court. I'll get money. I'll be fueling my car and be going and be coming. Yeah. Because those things are happening, it is making people not to, appreciate the fact that when you do wrong, you'll be dealt with. So they are emboldened by the fact that, it will travel for 8 years, it will travel for 10 years. Nasi Mesikra there, he lasted for this year. So don't worry. Ombe cancer, enkosiaga, me party beba, yebe jame, me party beba, noli prosecutor, yebe jame. That should not be the bone of contention.
Yeah. Right. But I need to be very clear that any public officer who will be emboldened by delays in justice and because of that would try to pilfer, financially mismanage government funds and all of that will be in deep trouble with this Attorney General. This Attorney General has a serious commitment to prosecute not only past offenses but even ongoing ones or ones that will happen in his own government. We talk about delays in cases. Yes, I think that the public have a right to speedy and effective justice. I agree. And I think the Attorney General has even mentioned that he agrees that there's a legitimate expectation of him to, pursue or prosecute these cases in a speedy manner. However, the Attorney General operates within a system that has long been criticized for delays.
What's he doing about it? It's a question a lot of people will be
Today,
asking.
if you check, there is a list of cases. There are daily trials that are ongoing. All right? The Attorney General does not control the timelines of the court. When he puts a case before the court, what he can do is to do his part in ensuring that he pursues speedy justice by, serving his documents, all of the things that he has to file. He has to do his part and allow the court to remember that the court is also prosecuting a number of cases beyond these high-profile cases. So before one judge is a number of cases. And you see, people forget that the Attorney General is also a Minister of Justice who is supposed to ensure that in terms of our legal realm, the processes that people have to go through for criminal justice to be met are being upheld. He cannot be seen to be the one because the public want people to go to jail to be seen to be violating a criminal procedure and all of that. And that's something that no amount of pressure will make him do. What the Attorney General is doing is that in a speedy and efficient manner, as much as he can, he is advocating for daily trials. And today, if you go online, you would see that there are a number of cases that will be heard on a daily basis. Some of them, the Deputy Attorney General closes from court about 5 p.m. All right? Sometimes. Everything is being done to prosecute these cases and to bring justice to the people of the Republic. And Senor says that the Attorney General's work is in court. I agree. And seeks to suggest that because of that, the public should not be updated. Like I've mentioned, Attorney General is a Minister of Justice and a Minister of this Republic. He is accountable just like any other minister. The only thing is that because his work is regulated by legal rules, all right, there's a certain remit within which he cannot, operate. So, for example, while a case is sub judice before a court, the Attorney General is never seen commenting. You will never see the Attorney General or Deputy Attorney General grant an interview after a court hearing, like we see other lawyers do. You will never see him. However, where he has discovered evidence of something, he thinks that it's appropriate that the public who have given him the power is briefed. So the public is told that this is what I've uncovered. I'm going to put it before the court. Once the Attorney General files charges, he never comments on a case. He just does his job in court and ensures that the court processes take its due course. Okay, so everything is being done to prosecute finance and financial related crimes, especially in the public sector, both in past government and if anybody dares in this government and there is prosecutorial evidence that meets the threshold, this Attorney General is very committed, and so things will be different under his regime. Right. We're already seeing results.
On the subject matter of oral, because that's come up in terms of accountability, which Public Accounts Committee is, the AG had said he was going to put a number of individuals before court.
Yeah.
The All Africa Games and all of that. He had given specific timelines. Those timelines have come to pass. Is it the case that investigations have not been rounded up? What is causing the delay on that front?
No, there's not been any delays. I didn't hear the AG give specific timelines in terms of dates. For example, for the All Africa Games and those ones you cited, he says they are going to be done in a number of weeks, a few weeks. The Minister for Government Communication mentioned that, and the Deputy Attorney General mentioned that no specific dates were given. And indeed, those things will be put before the court. But you see, the Attorney General prefers meticulous, ironclad docket building over mere speed. All right? He thinks that when cases are put before court, it must meet the evidential threshold and it must be so ironclad that those cases will bring justice to the Republic. Okay? So what the Attorney General normally does, or what he does, is that where investigations have concluded, okay, he will actually double check some of the evidence, all right, witness statement. He makes sure that he gets a complete pack before he goes to court. So when we say a docket is ready, in terms of investigation, doesn't complete it. After the investigative docket is ready, they need to be collection of witness statement. There need to be a number of things prepared, a solid team put on the case. And all of these things take time. But the Attorney General is committed to pursue all of that in a speedy manner as much as he can. So these cases that have been mentioned will be put before court. You remember that there has been a new charge filed just last week against Bernardine Tribu in respect of the Exim Bank case. Even in the Hanan case, there are new charges that have been filed. When charges are filed, before charges are filed, the Attorney General will want to have a long look ahead of how the trial is going to go and every step that he has to take to ensure justice. He has to cross all the T's, dot all the I's before he files charges. So these things do take time. And as far as I know, the AG is committed to putting together a solid case, putting it before the court, and ensuring that the Republic gets justice in respect of these cases.
Right. Since you're going to be taking leave of us, I will just pick your thoughts on the flooding situation, just so you leave. Then I can finish up with Emmanuel on.
Yeah, I know that there is a Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Plan,
yes,
GARID or something like that.
But the president also set up a special committee, which involves the deputy chief of staff and some other persons.
Yes. That shows the president's commitment.
But the floods are still here.
No,
I mean,
no. So the rains would come. This government has taken over for just about 15 or 16 months, right? A committee has been put together and resources have been assigned to that committee. Everything is being done to ensure that we have a long-term urban development around flooding. Remember that these flooding issues have been perennial. These flooding issues didn't just, and this year we've not seen it in large volume, of course, because maybe June hasn't come for us to test our flood resilience. But we've not seen the West.
Our resilience has been broken. Homes were submerged.
When?
From last weekend, actually. Yes. I've seen videos. Lakeside, for instance, an entire community was completely taken over.
Yes.
And if my production can even show you videos of that as well.
It's a big problem. The Minister for Works and Housing
is a member of that committee as well.
And he's actually estimated that we will need about $6 billion or so to be able to tackle the flooding problem comprehensively. So it's multifaceted. It has to do with funding. It has to do with systems. It has to do with development.
So that's Lakeside for you from last week.
Yes,
that's what the place looked like.
Yes, it's been a
Lakeside.
Yes,
it's been a very perennial.
Where the bridges when going to Lakeside itself?
No, my producer will have to help me with exact details of Kaneshi, Awoshi, Banyard, Bawe, and its environs completely submerged.
Yes, it's been a perennial problem. And the point I'm making to you is that
these guys are also submerged in the water.
Government's commitment, government is very much aware of how flooding poses a challenge to urban organization. And that's why he's put together that committee. I know that the committee has rolled out a number of measures. It is my hope that these measures would be speedily implemented so that we at least mitigate these flood incidents.
For how long?
No, but you didn't do it in 8 years, 15 months. You're asking how long? If our cities have been planned flood resilient, we won't be seeing this, at least not in these proportions. So 15 months, steps have been taken. And then you did 8 years and you're asking how long. We all see the commitment that this government had. And that's why, beyond the Ministry of Works and Housing, who are directly in charge, government takes an exceptional view of the flooding situation and put together a special task force or committee to augment the work of the Ministry of Works and Housing. That signals a commitment to tackle these issues head on. And I'm saying that government is looking at it in the long-term picture, not temporary fixes, okay? And so drainage systems, all right? Drainage systems and all of that. I know the Odo still poses a challenge as far as the circle area and its environment is concerned. This is contained in the plan of the task force to ensure that these drainage systems that have posed perennial problems are desilted so that water can flow in the capital. Don't also forget that the Greater Accra Regional Minister has been on a demolition exercise. I mean, he's come under flak in certain quarters for these work that she's done. But we know that he's doing it for the greater good. Once these buildings are sited in waterways, all right, we are always going to have problems. And it is important that we take bold and decisive action to rid these buildings off. It will cause inconvenience to people and all of that. But first of all, the reason it is causing inconvenience to people is that these people may not have obtained the right permit, or in collusion with people at the MMDs, cited their buildings at places that are not authorized. So we must take those temporary or those measures which will cause temporary inconvenience to these people for the utilitarian benefit of all of us in the larger city. So this demolition exercise that she's embarked on is also an important step towards ensuring that waterways are rid of buildings and that our cities are able to open up, our drainages in our cities are opened up for us to mitigate the effect of flooding. So government takes a very serious view of this, and every step is being taken. And it is my hope that this year and next year, the flooding situation will improve in Accra. A lot of funds will be committed to that. A lot of work will be done. And in 15 months, I think that we have seen more focus on it than we did in the last 8 years. And Senor is asking when. When he has done 8 years, he's not been able to give us a solution. 15 months, he's asking when. When he knows about the task force, when he knows about the Garrett plan, when he knows about commitments that have been put in place in terms of funding by the Minister for Works and Housing to combat this problem. So the issue will be mitigated.
I'm sure we'll talk again in relation to floods, because there's a storm even expected to approach the capital today. It's been put out by the Ghana Meteorological Agency, just by way of a bit more in terms of details to persons who are listening to us. And so Akachi, Keta, Agoveme, Anyanui, Bato, Tema, Accra, Madina, Prampram, Mafikumasi, Hu, Ketekrachi, Nkoko, Akosumbu, Asamankese, Dodua, Begro, Ibri, Kufuridi, and surrounding areas. Storm is expected to hit from now going, because the time is to be areas to be affected, and then the valid time is at 9:30, and some other areas. And so, particularly for a lot of the coastal towns, a storm is expected, and the Ghana Meteorological Agency has announced that Alpha will take leave of us. Benjamin Alpha Edu, Esquire, is a member of the NDC communications team, and also speaks for the Ministry of Attorney General and Justice. I'll wrap up with Emmanuel, who's still with me in studio as a member of the NPP communications team. This flooding situation, you were seeing some of the videos and saying you would be crying if you were in those shoes.
My car was actually submerged in water like that. I'll cry. I don't know.
3FM,
but I think that this is not an issue of MPP and NDC. I'll deviate from that point and rather blame leadership. I think that our leaders must be very proactive. Positions are given not because we want titles, but positions are given for people to work.
Right.
This issue of flood did not start just yesterday. It's been there since time immemorial. We've heard about flood upon flood. We've heard what it's caused to families, the loss of lives and properties and all of that. But it looks like there is no proactivity. There is actually nothing being put out as a mitigating measure. It is still the same Stone Age stories. The same strategy, no new plan. So are we saying that in Ghana, there is no specialist when it comes to drainage system, when it comes to town planning? We don't have any specialists in this country. I am speaking this way because sometimes this is how I talk, and I talk out of passion, out of pain. Look at, because of negligence of how we put out our houses or plans, because of a certain permit officer who sat in a certain district assembly issued a permit instead of you to go and see whether the person is actually building at the right place. You just issued because you have received some payments. People's property are submerging water. Their livelihoods are gone. And people do not want us to talk about it.
3FM 92.7.
And again, you come down to the recent committees that was set up. To be sincere, when I saw that committee, I thought that there was going to be something unique. I thought there was going to be a magic. But it seems we are sleeping as a country. I don't know the last time you visited Europe, but it will be difficult for you to even see the drainage. It will be difficult for you to see it with your eyes. Their drainage system have been covered. Bagana here. You can see it. Philip Adoji said, that is it. Our town planning is so poor that even in wetlands, people are building. They'll do refilling, and build over there when they know very well that where they are building is not the right thing. And when leadership goes for demolition, then we are all empathizing with them. We are crying with them. Oh, and I buy way, and they didn't do well. The issue of flood needs to be relooked at. It should not be the usual rhetorics. When we come, we blame this government. We come, we blame that government. What is the long-term plan? What is government doing? By now, MMDA should be taxed. Every district, we should look at our, municipalities or areas holistically. Which areas, which households falls within, a drainage zone? Which households have been built at unauthorized areas? If you don't take decisive decisions to curtail some of these things, it will forever remain the same stories. When I saw the likes of the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Stan Dogbe, the likes of Teddy, who is the Deputy NADMO coordinator, then the military officer, and then, to be frank, one of the names I saw that I was a bit worried about, what is she going to do? Madame Marita Brew, the President Legal Council, Madame Marita Brew. I was like, no, for her, I don't know, but all these people who have been put in one committee, tell me one good thing they've done from last year, March till date. Just tell me one good thing they've done in this country. The committee is in place. Flood is still going on. It is not ending. And it looks like the usual talk is what, shop talk is what we are still getting in this country. So for me, I am of the view that the committee should go back to the drawing board.
Right.
They should come with a very good mitigating measure that will be offered to various MMDAs to implement. Because if we sit and say that, if the regional minister of Greater Accra do not do this, then nothing will happen. If regional minister of Volta region does not do this, then nothing. The same stories will remain. Flooding will continue. Kaneshi will still be flooded. Agbozume, the areas will still be flooded, and we'll be here. You and I will still be complaining that somebody's car has been submerged in the water. Somebody's what the trotro has. I watched a video. I'm sure it was one of the videos you played. Kaneshi also.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that was on 2 days ago when it rained. I was like, what? And I saw people even in the water. They were struggling for their lives. Is that not the same thing that happened for the June 3rd or June 4th issue some years back?
2.7.
So it looks like Ghana, Pekasa. We want to talk. Let people hear that, I speak big grammar. Let people know that, yes, I'm offering solutions, but the implementation there, I will not do it. So I want to beg, Mr. President, we are begging you. The committee you have tasked, it is more than a year now. We don't know what the committee have done. We've lost so much in this country. If it is possible, I think the committee should be dissolved. Let's have a different committee in place.
Isn't that a bit too harsh? It's easy.
Because let me ask you, your boss has asked you to sit on this show this morning and you failed to deliver a whole year, and you want to be allowed to be sitting here and still the same, commentaries that keeps coming down. My brother Mawuena is not doing well. The same commentaries, it will give a bad image to your institution. You know that, right?
Right.
So I am of the view that if the committees that are in place, that committee which has the deputy NADMO director, Mr. Stan Dogbe and the likes, if they are not delivering, let's dissolve them. Let's dissolve the committee. The talk is too much. I don't even know if they are even taking any allowance or stipends for being a member of the committee. That is not to say that I'm saying I don't know, but I am of a firm belief that if the committee is not delivering, and we are still seeing this flood situation, they cannot come out and tell us that these are the solutions they are coming out with. I want to believe that it will be prudent to just dissolve the committees and let's have something else than allowing these people stay in office all in the name of they are members of the president special task force in charge of committees. When they are flooded, they will now go and be in canoe and be. Come on, it's too much in this country.
Right,
the theatrics are just too much for us.
Right, that's Emmanuel Senyo Amekplanu, is a communications team member of the NPP. Earlier, there was Benjamin Alpha Edu Esquire, is also a member of the NDC communication. Emmanuel Akpekakaka, thank you very much for joining us in studio this morning as well.
I think I heard you talk about the fact that there is a big storm.
Yes, there's a storm.
And it's approaching Keta and the rest. I hope that, because when it happens, mostly those within the Keta Anyanguida enclave.
Yeah,
already with Amuchinu and the rest.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that the government will quickly put mitigative measures in place to, contain this.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well for joining us in studio.
Thank you so much.
In the morning.
Seas had rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Mirror, mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone there was never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world. It was the wicked and wild wind, blew down the doors to let me in. Shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever want to be?
Quick birthday before we run out of the studio. A special one to Enoch Nana Kwame Amwaku Techi.
No, that guy is a great guy. It's called popularly known as Biggie. He's a great guy. He's at Rana Motors.
Fantastic guy.
Great guy.
Enoch
will service your vehicle for you
with great speed and alacrity.
No, not alacrity, and he's very efficient and very dedicated. Yeah, he will sort it out for you.
Happy birthday to you.
I call him Last Killer. That's all. Last killer.
Happy birthday to you. That's our show for you today. Christabel Success.
What song are we closing with? Because it looks like a
DJ
prayer
Phil.
song that DJ Phil has positioned. Relax. You play the song. Relax.
92.7.
Let's talk to the lady. My lady, please come. Let's talk to the lady. Oh, come. Yeah. My lady, how are you?
I'm awesome.
What's with
How
the
are you?
red jacket and double-breasted red jacket?
Well,
What's
it's my
happening?
birthday week, so I mean we're
It's your
gearing
birthday
up
week.
towards
When is your birthday?
Wednesday, 27th.
Wednesday.
Mm.
You share a
born on
birthday with
Wednesday?
Akablay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We were born on Wednesday, by the way.
And today as well is the birthday of Abdallah Mohammed.
Oh, Abdallah.
Yes.
Oh,
Abdallah. Producer of the Key Points.
Abdallah.
Today is his birthday
Abdallah.
as well. And so a happy birthday.
You know, Abdallah
to
is
him.
my subject. So, but today is his birthday.
Yeah.
I'll grant him grace.
Grace and leniency. Also a happy birthday to Frederick Tenu. As an old friend of mine.
Okay, Frederick.
It was your
yes.
birthday yesterday.
Yes, it was my birthday.
It was your birthday yesterday.
Yes.
Why is Mawuena's picture not on that?
Over the days
What's going on?
It was my birthday yesterday. So it's
No, we celebrate you. That's why you're wearing the double-breasted three-piece suit. Hey, Mawuena.
So a happy
So you have not
birthday
even
to
become a lawyer, but now you are wearing double-breasted three-piece suit.
Abdallah Mohammed and a host of.
When you become a lawyer, what shall we do?
We'll celebrate.
We'll celebrate it.
We'll celebrate to the
All right.
glory of God.
Okay,
And
Princess,
so-
how are you?
I'm okay.
Do you have a boyfriend now?
We'll talk about that after.
I'm talking about it now.
You have to do these updates.
You look very beautiful. Hold on, don't play the song. Hold on. You look very beautiful. Do you have a boyfriend now?
Oh, Johnny.
This
is a subject matter.
I'm the most senior man here.
That puts
nobody would.
That puts too much. Yeah, she's sweating in
Do
the
you have
AC.
a boyfriend now? I call her princess.
No, I
Do you know why I call her princess? I should tell you.
Be rich.
Because I think that you are
I
adorable
wanna
and
be
you have a boyfriend.
famous. I wanna have lots and lots of money.
Me, I should go and
We'll do that behind the scenes. Let's go.
Okay.
Christabel will do the news update for us now.
I wanna be rich. I wanna be famous. I wanna have lots and lots of money. Soar above the clouds. I wanna be free, like Nelson Mandela. Stand tall like a pyramid. So courageous. No place I'd rather be. Oh na na na, oh na na na. There's no place I'd rather be. Oh na na na. Live and die in Africa. I wanna live and die in Africa. Live and die in Africa. Hey, live and die in Africa.
Busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
Hello, it's now time for the news update. My name is Christabel Success Treve. International relations expert Professor Daniel Dramani Kipo says the government of Ghana must treat the evacuation of Ghanaians from South Africa as a matter of urgency. Some Ghanaians in South Africa have expressed a strong desire to return home following the latest wave of xenophobic attacks. The Ghana government postponed the evacuation exercise to a later date due to technical challenges relating to screening processes and aircraft carriers. Take a listen to some of them.
Fiti last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation led me buy manya she and I wanted to go back. I need to go back home.
We don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at how I am. I have been working as a teacher in this country. Not that Ghanaians are illegal, but the Home Affairs forced most of them to be illegal.
Those were some voices of some Ghanaians in South Africa. Meanwhile, Professor Kipo, speaking on TV3's Weekend Central, said the Foreign Affairs Ministry must commence steps to repatriate the affected Ghanaians.
This should be treated as a situation of emergency.
And at this very moment, I think lives are in danger in South Africa because the manner in which the citizens of South Africa are molesting Africans, especially West African, Sub-Saharan Africans. The attack is more serious in West Africa than those in the Sahel, in the SADC regions. So that is the situation. Ghana, Nigeria are the leading West African countries who are target of attack.
Professor Daniel Dramani Kipo is an international expert. Well, that's it for the news updates. For more updates, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Christabel Success Trevor. 3 Lounge is up next.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready.